I gotta say, y'all, I got something to say. It's extremely ghetto that we are here streaming when there's Zelda to be playing. But yeah, man. Oh boy, I'm nothing. I'm nothing without you beautiful people. So here we are, another Tuesday, another Ask Neo. Meaning, I gotta do the intro right. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is this thing on? Ladies and gentlemen of all ages, races, and ethnicities alike. Can you see me? Most importantly, can you all hear me? What's going on, people? What's happening? Test, test. Mic check. Everything coming in good? What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing? Okay. All right. You gotta go ahead and pop this chat out right quick. Gonna go ahead and drag this right over here. Get this blown up. And yeah, we good to go. Okay, so starting at the top while we let some more people come in. We got the homie Flame, who unfortunately is first, and yo, this is crazy. Flame just beat his last record, man. Flame beat his last record of being the first comment, because I literally put the stream up, and I shit y'all not, a microsecond later, a legit microsecond later, this dude Flame was in there saying first. Now, I don't know what kind of power this man has, but Flame is getting too powerful. It's definitely something in the water in Florida. Who else is in here? Flame said, I drove my Hyrule truck here and you're still late. Check your DMs for the reference. Oh, I definitely will later. Yo, y'all going crazy with these new emotes. I fucking love to see it. Who else is in here? We got Ghost Fixter in the chat. We got the homie NintenDon The Otaku. With the amount of Nintendo / Tears of the Kingdom hater tears I've collected these last few days, I could flood the earth a second time. I enjoyed it almost as much as I enjoy the actual game. You see, now if Don Otaku was one of these other dudes out here, he wouldn't be playing no games at all. He would just revel in the salt. But Don Otaku is out here playing these games. Oh, I already know this man's gonna be insufferable for the entirety of the stream. But you know what? I'm gonna let Don Otaku, I'm gonna let him talk his talk. It's a celebration. This man's gonna be high stepping like he was a pony, but he ain't. Let's see who's in here. Okay, we got the homie Pooh Bear. What's going on, my brother? We got J Fam. What's going on, Jason? This man Flame is insane. I should grab a drink or two. No, absolutely. Yeah, anytime you deal with Flame, you got to be under the influence of something, man. You know, it could range anywhere from having one shot to having a 6-pack to, I don't know, getting into meth. Let me not. Let me not. Okay, going down the list. Who else we got in here? We got Angel. What's going on, Rhino? How you doing, my brother? We got Dylan Collins. We got Julian Phoenix, who just donated a super chat. Julian Phoenix sent in $5. What's the worst Zelda game between Ocarina of Time and Tears of the Kingdom? I'm going with Skyward Sword. I love how he didn't even give us. He just said your fucking Skyward Sword. Nah, y'all know me. I do like Skyward Sword. I think I like Skyward Sword more than a lot of people. Yes, it does have its irritations and its issues, but is it the worst Zelda game? I mean, if you count some of like the Zelda spin-offs, it's definitely not the worst Zelda game. If we're talking like mainline, it's probably the weakest of the bunch if you talk to most people out there. But you know, I still like it. I still enjoy Skyward Sword a lot. I definitely think it's got like one of the best stories in Zelda, you know what I'm saying? And stories and characters and shit like that. Let's see. But what do you guys think? What's the worst Zelda in your honest opinion? And you can't say Breath of the Wild because it's so different than all the other games. You gotta come out with the legit critiques. We got Naruto ST. You are late, sir. How the fuck am I late? How? I started the stream on time, but according to y'all, that ain't good enough. Damn, is that how it be? Even long story short, it's Jover. That's how it is with me. That's how it is. I can do everything right and everything wrong, and I'm still wrong. Damn, tough time being a black man in America. It's crazy. Who else is in here? We got Hibachi in the chat. Walk on, my brother. How you doing? We got Video Game Lover 58. We got Slixro. Good evening, Monsieur GameSpark. Oh, good evening to you too, my guy. How you doing? Everyone be saying I'm late. I ain't late. And here we got T-Bell saying hi, bye. Damn. Sounding like my black dad. Oh my God. He said hi, bye. He going back to the grocery store. I guess they really were out of milk. We got Cyborg and Red Sage. What's up? Tears of the Neo time? Nah, Neo ain't gonna be crying during this stream. Not unless I take like 7 shots again and we start doing a story time session. Who knows? Okay, who else is in here? We've got NKDN. What's going on, my homie? We got RJ Neo, your friendly neighborhood grasshead is back. Oh, Jesus. He said grasshead. We got Band Brawlers. The prodigal son has returned. Ooh, I like this. I like this. See, this is what happens when you got cool people in your stream. They don't be roasting you 24/7. They be saying some nice shit. Look at that, man. Y'all just brought up my spirits a bit. We got JMac19. What up, Neo? Just got back from a walk after work. How's everything been? Yo, shit has been good, my guy. Shit has been great. Now that we got this Zelda here, we got this Tears of the Kingdom action. Life has been beautiful. The sun has not stopped shining since Friday. It's a beautiful feeling, y'all. We got Acebreaker. Let's see what kind of nonsense he's about to say. I just finished my last stroke on my girl. What's good, y'all? Well, you know what? At the very least, I like this man's priorities. I like this man's priorities because he was just like, oh, shit. Asking you was at 7:30. Hold on, baby. I just got like 5 more strokes in me. You know what, Acebreaker? I fucks with you, man. I fucks with you. I don't know if that's sus, but I fucks with you, bro. Under any other circumstances, I can say I fucks with you and shit be Gucci. But when it comes to Acebreaker, it's just like, I don't know, man. Oh, but Acebreaker, it's never a dull moment with this dude. Oh, thank you for Sean Artis for subscribing to the channel. Appreciate it. I wonder if you're watching right now, Sean. Comment down below if you are. It's just a random person who's like, oh, I like this video. I'm gonna subscribe. Oh wait, he's streaming? Oh shit. Who else is in here? We have got a fallen phone. That's what we got. Jedi fallen phone. We have got let me see. We got DIMWITMONKEY. Oi, what's going on, my brother? Let's see. Dimwit says, welcome everybody to the Zelda Spoilers Podcast. Today we're gonna tell you how Zelda dies from syphilis and Link is in trouble for public indecency. Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. That's see, when I heard Nintendo was going crazy with the story in this new Zelda game, I did not know it involved STDs. But you know what? Nintendo's finally given us the grown people stories that we should have gotten years ago. I responded to your tweet, didn't know you had a YouTube. Oh, I appreciate that, Sean. Yeah, you know, a lot of people don't realize that. I guess I need to do a better job of advertising my YouTube channel, but yeah, you know, outside of Twitter, I also do the YouTube streams, and occasionally I put out a video or two. Let's see who else is in here. We have got we got Distant Earth. Where's Close Earth at? We got Distant Earth, we got Close Earth, where's Medium Proximity Earth at? We need to know. We got to assemble all these people. Different varying locations of the planet. We got Jake in the chat. What's up, Jake? We got Zack Rodriguez. What's up, Chris? Just got back from the gym. Oh, you love to hear it, man. This man making these gains. Love that shit. It's the Zelda theme, asked Neo. Let's go. Okay, guys, I think I should be back. Can you guys see me? You might need to refresh the page. To refresh everything. You guys see me? You guys hear me? Are we good? We back. We back. All right. You might need to refresh the page on your end if it doesn't show up, you guys. I'm sorry about that. OBS crashed. This is crazy, man. This is like the second time in the past month that OBS has crashed when we tried to do these streams. Neo, I was so scared. Oh yeah, I bet you were. Who else you gonna bully on a Tuesday night, right? You broke the stream. Yeah, man. It's the power. You know what it is, y'all? It's the power. It's the power of that Tears of the Kingdom, man. Is that Zelda greatness. Of course, you know we had to get a physical copy for this shit. You know this. You know the vibes. Physical copies that have absolutely nothing on the inside. Just the way I like my modern games. OBS is on some whole bullshit. Hey, I like that, Shy. I like that, Shy. That's a bar right there, Shy. Alrighty. Okay. Oh, so shout out to the homie J-Fam who's been a member over the past 17 months of the Spirit Detective tier. I appreciate you, my brother. Blizzard legit just made Game Freak look like a team of dedicated and hard-working developers. Oh, that is right. So we're definitely going to talk about this, the whole Overwatch kerfuffle, or the continued mismanagement of the Overwatch brand, if you will. We got a $4.99 super chat from Blue Senshi 19. I increased my fasting, only letting myself eat once a day. You're late. Don't worry. It's YouTube's fault. Haven't turned in my ox since Zelda released. Oh, haven't tuned in my ox? I might be... what? It's YouTube's fault. Haven't tuned in my ox since Zelda released. I'm confused on that one, Senshi, but appreciate the super chat, my guy. Oh, and shout out to Kid Stupefy, who became a member of the Phantom Weirdo tier. I appreciate you, my brother. Go ahead and feel free to use all those emotes, my friend, because we got a lot of cool ones in there. $2 coming in from Marcus Del Terrell. Is working out for you more fun? Is working out for you more for fun or more for health? Honestly, Marcus, my brother, it's a little bit of everything, both. It's a little bit of everything, both. Sorry, my mind is just, it's been a very long day for your boy. It's a bit of both, man. Like, obviously, when I first started working out, it was for health purposes. I noticed that, you know, at the ripe age of 20, scaling flights of stairs started to become cumbersome. It's not like my body was in pain, but I noticed I was going up a few flights of stairs and I was getting winded. And I was like, whoa, this is not good, man. I'm only 20 years old and this is happening to me. It's not like I was overweight or anything, you know, because I'm like 6'3", 6'4". I weighed, I think, like 210 at the time, but, you know, I was just very much so skinny fat, and I wasn't getting much of exercise at all, you know. At least, like, in high school, I did a lot of walking and every now and then play, you know, sports, but it wasn't to the degree where I had daily exercise. And, you know, when you're living the life, you're going to school, you're working, you hanging out, you drinking, you eating a lot of junk food and everything, shit catches up with you. So it was one of those situations where I wanted to take control of my health, and I just didn't like how I looked whenever I took off a shirt or just how clothes fit me. Because, you know, I was skinny fat, so I was like really skinny up top, and then like all of my fat was just in my love handle area, and it just made wearing shirts very awkward, man. Like, it got so bad to the point with my mental health that I was just like, I wish I had like a beer gut or something, so at the very least, like, love handles wouldn't be there. It was that crazy. So it started out with me wanting to better myself in that respect, and then it just became chasing the thrill. Like, oh wow, I'm progressing each and every day when I'm in the gym. Like, my mental health is so much better. Like, my physical well-being, like everything, all that stuff, like all the benefits you get from consistently working out. And it's just become a part of my day-to-day, man. Since 2014, the only time I've ever really taken off from the gym is if I was sick, or there were like life and work obligations, studying, stuff like that. But yeah, you know, always make it a point to get to the gym at least 3 to 4 times a week. Right now I'm going to the gym 5 times a week, and it's awesome, man. It's awesome. And like, the byproduct of having a healthier body and an aesthetic body, all that stuff is great. But it's like the mental health gains that I've gotten from that, the confidence boost, like all of these things, that it's just more than just like, oh, you want to look better, or oh, you want to feel better. It's everything. But yeah, as far as like working out, I always tell people you don't need to train 5-6 days a week. Depending on what your program is on, it might require you to be in the gym at least 4 to 5 times a week. But I tell most people, for the average general person, if you work out 3 times a week, if you make sure to get 10,000 steps a day, and if you eat right, you will be a healthy individual. Obviously, there's a whole, that's like just a blanket statement. There's a myriad of other things that could go into your personal experience where you have to do a lot more than that. You know, like if you have pre-existing conditions and things of the sort. But as a general rule, if you just work out 3 times a week, you get your steps in, you eat right, you only go out there and cheat when, you know, there's no other opportunity for you to avoid it. Like, for example, if you're going out on vacation somewhere, obviously you want to enjoy the local cuisine and things like that. And of course, Ace Breaker is going to listen to that. And he said, hey man, listen, I've been cheating way before working out came into the picture. Like, that fucking guy's crazy. But yeah, that answers that question. Hugh says, first time I'm able to catch you live. Hope you have a good stream. By the way, used to be over 420 pounds, lost 200 in a year. Not much is different. Remember thinking everything would be different being skinny. That's awesome for you, Hugh. That is a serious amount of weight to lose. That is a legit transformation, my brother. So kudos to you. And it's so crazy because the mindset that we all have at the beginning of, like, whatever our journey is, we think about this one thing. And then by the time we get to that goal or we get to it, our mindset can change, or at least be altered in some way, where like at first it was like looking at the scale and you want that scale to be X number, but then it became, how do I look in these clothes? How do I feel in these clothes? How does like my well-being affect my day-to-day? All that stuff. Like, you get a lot more out of working out and eating healthy and right and blah 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 than just the superficial aspects. There's a ton of stuff. Let's see. What's up, Don Quixote? What's up, Neo? Can't stay long, but just checking in, brother. Hope all is well. All is great, my brother. Hope all is well for you too, man. Jake says, now that you've been lifting for so long, do you feel more satisfied with it? I've progressed so much in the last 2 years, but I still don't feel happy with it. I don't know. It might be a mental thing. So it could be a combination of a bunch of things, man. Obviously it could be mental. Like if you have a lot of outside stressors, whether it's school, work, family, relationships, if you bring that shit into the gym, it's going to affect your workouts. When I get into that gym, I shut myself off from the outside world. I don't even try to think about anything that's going on in my life, because for that time, the hour, 2 hours that I spend, what I'm doing there matters more than anything. So you have to treat it as such. There have been moments throughout lifting for like close to 10 years where I feel as if I'm going with the motions. And if I'm going with the motions when I'm going to the gym, it's probably time for me to switch some things up. So either I get myself on a different program, or I realize that I maybe am not pushing myself as hard as I think I am. So if I'm going to the gym and let's say, for example, I'm doing, I don't know, let's take bicep curls. I'm doing 4 sets of 12 on bicep curls, right? 4 sets of 12. If every single one of those reps with the 12 look exactly the same and I put down that weight and I feel like nothing's been stimulated, I'm not training myself hard enough. Like it gets to the point where you start going for those last couple of reps where you feel like mentally locked in, engaged, where nothing else in the world matters but that movement. And as a general rule, I always tell folk, if the last 4 reps of a high rep set don't look like you're straining and you're pushing and you're just like trying to go beyond plus ultra, you're not really pushing yourself that hard. Now, obviously, there are a lot of factors that could go into that, like depending on what you're doing at the time. Like, let's say it's a deload week. If it's a deload week, you're not supposed to be training that hard. Let's say, for example, you're cutting back on the volume because you feel really fatigued from outside influences. That's when you have to get your sleep in order. That's when you have to get all those other factors in order, like making sure you eat enough food, making sure it's quality food, shit like that. But damn, see, this is what happens. Y'all ask me one question, I just go straight into this shit. But you know what? I might as well just do the intro now, since we've been streaming for a bit. Welcome everybody to another fantastic and fabulous episode of Ask Neo. If y'all are tuning in for the very first time, welcome. Ask Neo is my weekly Q&A series where you guys ask me questions and I answer them to the best of my ability. And if you guys are tuning in for the very first time, comment down below. Let me know how you find the show. And if you are watching it, make sure you hit the like button. It helps out the channel tremendously. It helps send this stream out into the ether so we can get a whole bunch of new subscribers in there. Now, before we dive into that, I do have a little bit of housekeeping to do. So down below in the video description, if you guys haven't checked by now, that is going to be a couple of links of interest. So all of my social media outlets, from Twitter to Instagram, our Discord community, the Phantom Weirdos, YouTube memberships, all that stuff. If you want to support the channel, that is where it's done. If you're watching the stream right now and you're wondering, how else can I support the channel? Well, that's where YouTube memberships come in. One of the homies in the chat, JFam Jason, very, very, very close friend of mine, he has gone ahead and designed us a whole bunch of new emotes, some of which people have posted in the chat. And we also have more membership badges coming. So if you guys are members, post your favorite emotes down below so a couple people can see it. We've got a whole bunch of different things there. A lot of cool stuff for how crazy these streams can get at times. And it's a fun little way to interact with the community. In addition to that, super chats, which I'm sure you guys have seen popping up on the screen. And we have a couple of more that I have to get to. I haven't forgotten, y'all. Super chats are a great way to have your question answered with priority. The thing about these Ask Neo streams and why I love them so much is that I'm able to interact with you guys. We can have fun. We can be chill. But since there are so many of you guys and, you know, I'm long-winded with these questions, super chats are a great way to have your question highlighted on screen with priority. And I will make sure that I always get to those super chat questions. And the last thing before we dive into that, this is not really a shameless self-plug. It's more of a plug for one of my very good friends. Last Tuesday, you guys might recall that I was hinting at me being on some sort of show where we gonna bring the energy. And we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. And I kind of gave a couple of hints here and there throughout the stream. And unfortunately, nobody was able to predict what it was, which I'm like, yes, none of y'all got this. But the mystical show that I was on was Podcast Unlocked. Yes, you guys, I was invited to be a guest on Unlocked. My very good friend, Ryan McCaffrey, who runs the show over there at IGN, invited me back on. And this was, I believe, my third appearance on Podcast Unlocked. I went during the first, like, the height of the pandemic. So I believe it was like right before Halo Infinite launched. And then I was on there a year later. And then we finally coordinated for this show. Like, Ryan's, like, the one thing I love about Ryan is that he always offers an open invitation to be on the show. It just comes down to scheduling, you know, because they record it My time is like Wednesday afternoons, and sometimes I'm working, sometimes I'm at the gym, sometimes just a whole bunch of other stuff, but we finally coordinated and we got that situated. And yeah, it was a really, really, really good show. Me, Ryan, Destin, and Stella, we all discussed the main topic that everyone's been talking about. Of course, the Phil Spencer Kind of Funny Games interview, you know, the fallout from Redfall. That was like the main meat and potatoes of the show. And, you know, giving credit where credit is due, one thing I love about Ryan is that he is not afraid to speak his mind, especially being that like he's been at the forefront of when it comes to talking about Xbox for a very long time. My man's just done. My man's just fed up with all this shit. And I felt like I was Emperor Palpatine during the entire podcast, because I was just like, yes, Ryan, I know you've waited a long time to say these things. And yeah, it was a lot of fun, you guys, and I want to thank you all so much for checking out the episode, because I've received so many tweets and so many DMs from y'all saying you enjoyed the show. Thank you. Like I love hearing that shit, you guys. But you know what? At the end of the day, it all comes down to supporting each other, you know? So it's not just like, oh, you watch it because Neo's on there and everything, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's great. But also make sure you support people like Ryan. Like, you support people like, you know, Mr. Matty Plays on Defining Duke. You support the great guys over at Iron Lords Podcast. You support BG on Weapon Wheel Podcast. You support all those things, because at the end of the day, like, this is our community. Like, these are the people, like, the people that you see, I guarantee you, are, for the most part, exactly the same way on Twitter as they are when they do their podcast and the opinions and things like that. And if they're good, great, like-minded individuals, those are the people we should be supporting, not the people who are doing the clickbaits, not the people who are grifting for views, the people who are just like, you know, like the crazy nonsense that we be seeing. So yeah, you guys, thank y'all so much for the support. It was a lot of fun being on the show, and who knows, I might be back sooner rather than later. But yeah, shout out to everybody who's been joining in between. We have Cold, of course, Don Quixote's here. We have Ibantis, my brother Ibantis. How are you doing, my guy? Who else is here? We got Tim Per 21. You did great, and I like the perspective, even though I didn't agree. Hold the line. Yeah, you see, that's what it is. Like, at the end of the day, like, when it comes to this gaming shit, this stuff really doesn't matter in our day-to-day lives. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're getting paid for it. So it's just like fun banter and fun discussions. Like, at the end of the day, yeah, I'm critical about Xbox the same way I'm critical about Nintendo. Like, a lot of people, I've gotten some comments from some folk, not talking about you, Tim, but for some people saying, why are you always so harsh on Xbox? Because I want them to be better, man. Like, people do not recall from 2012 to 2016, Neo was in his anti-Nintendo bag. Like, every single thing that Nintendo was doing, I took issue with, because they weren't doing the shit they needed to do. And it drove me insane. But you know what? They finally got their shit together with the Nintendo Switch, for the most part. And it's a great damn machine, you know? Like, sometimes you got to be critical about your faves, especially if you know they could be better. And that's all I want. That's all I want for the Xbox brand. I just want it to be better. Like, they have everything in place. They just need the proper guidance. They need to capitalize off all this shit, man. We need that. But what's going on, Arsonist? What's up, Royal Blue? Royal Blue just said he had a birthday on Monday. He picked up Zelda and he's loving it. Hey, listen, Royal Blue, my guy, happy belated birthday to you, my friend. Everybody in the chat, wish Royal Blue a happy birthday. It's crazy. Every single one of these streams is always somebody in their mama's birthday. It's like, y'all can't all have the same birthday. What is going on here? What is going on? But in the meantime, let me go ahead and catch up on some of the super chats. First one we have coming in from Long Live Kevin Samuels. Yes, sir. With a $4.99 super chat. Thank you, my brother. I just saw Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and did you notice the biblical metaphors in the third act? Also, gun took aspects from the game. Yes, so there was a lot of stuff happening with So just in general, when you have a really well-crafted movie, there's a lot of symbolisms and metaphors and things that if you have like writers who grew up a certain way, or they just see something, they inject it in some movies, and for some people it just goes over their head, and for others who dive deeper into it, you're just like, oh, I see some of that. Okay, wow. So that, even if that's not what they were going for, I see that. And then other times it's just like blatantly in your face, like God versus man, day versus night. We're so deep with this movie that's so dark. Y'all already know the movie I'm talking about. But yeah, the one thing I love about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is that, like, James Gunn Oof, I really want to do a spoiler talk about this film, but I'm gonna save that for next week because by the point of next week, I feel like most people here would have seen it. But because there's a lot of stuff I want to gush about with Volume 3. I'm seeing it again tomorrow night. One of my coworkers, Dolby Cinema. I cannot wait. Even though I've already seen this movie, I can't wait to watch it again in Dolby. Like, this is gonna be awesome. And then we got Zack Rodriguez, who's been a member of the Fandom Weirdos here for the past 18 months. I appreciate you, my brother. Neo, what's up with the majority of gamers being people who aren't fit and care about themselves? Oh shit. A lot of my friends don't work out like that, sadly. Oh, he's calling y'all out. Zack Rodriguez took his ass to the gym and he's just like, y'all need to step your game up. All right, so let's talk about it. Oh, and before we do that, Beetle Rods, the Big Sambroski, the Arsonist, Dark Mando, King Taichi. What's going on, gentlemen? And then we also, I saw them sneak in. We had fun speculation. We had Bryce in the chat, Michael Santiago. We got GC Plugs. What's going on, y'all? We got everybody tonight. We got everybody in here tonight. What is going on, people? What is going on? Let's see. Okay, hold on one second. So I'm gonna go back to Zack Rodriguez. Oh shit, my girlfriend's in the chat too. Holy fuck. There we go. What's this we shiz? Yeah, we, the collective unit that is us in this stream, Marcus. I thought, listen, don't make me get Vin Diesel up in this bitch. I will get Vin Diesel up in this bitch and talk about family to death, man. So much to the point where they gonna make the last Fast and Furious movie, they gonna split that into 3 parts. So it's already gonna be a trilogy, but now I'm gonna split the last part into part 1 and part 2. Marcus Dorterell, do you want that? Do you want that for the people? Because I will do it. Do not test me, my brother. But anyways, all right, you guys. Fuck you, Flame. I'm tired of flaming this bitch ass, bro. This is the most amount I've cursed in a while, man. Yeah, you'll be testing. I'll be pushing my buttons today. Oh, okay. I'll get to Flame's super chat in a second. But anyways, answering Zack Rodriguez's question. Neo, what's up with the majority of gamers being people who aren't fit and they don't care about themselves? A lot of my friends don't work out like that, sadly. Okay, so I will say this as a nerd and a former nerd who didn't work out. Working out is fucking hard, dude. Just quote that, Neo. Working out is fucking hard, dude. Working out is one of those things, and it's not just exclusively to gamers. It's the vast majority of the population. If you look at it, most people really aren't in shape. And I'm not talking about you gotta look like Mr. Olympia, you gotta look like a superhero, you gotta look like a model. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking like the average person, for the most part, if you look at the United States and if you look at a whole bunch of other countries in the world, is out of shape. They're usually like anywhere from like 5 to 20 plus pounds overweight, things like that, yada, yada, yada. But when it comes to gamers, I'm gonna just be honest. Gamers and nerds and all of that stuff, it comes from a place of seclusion. And what do I mean by that? Because for the vast majority of time that we've been on Earth, when it comes down to these interests like science fiction, reading books, getting deeper than just the surface level understanding of all these products, when it comes to gaming, when it comes to watching anime, these are very reclusive hobbies, right? And for a lot of us, we were shunned for it growing up. And I'm not making this a discussion of like, oh, they shunned me when I was a kid, but I'll be better than them when I'm an adult. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying like all of these things, they're very reclusive hobbies. They're things that, you know, growing up, you were either the kid who was outside playing football or you were the kid who had his nose in a book. Like it was just reduced to those very, very, very stereotypical camps that you grew up in. Now, obviously there was a lot of overlap. Just saying that if you played sports, that didn't mean you didn't also watch Dragon Ball Z. It's not like that at all. But for a lot of people out there, it was one of those two things. You either were actively outdoors or you were a gamer or you were a nerd or blah, 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 right? For a lot of people, they were both. But like I said, I'm talking about not the exceptions to the rule. I'm talking about the vast majority. So when you live like that for the majority of your life and you really don't venture outside of your comfort zone, you have no real interest in getting involved with working out until you have some type of external influence. And for a lot of people, unfortunately, that could be health scares. It could be you going to your doctor and saying like, hey, you need to get control of this before you get this type of disease. You need to get control of this before blah, blah, blah. For other people, it could just be having, you know, the right person at the right time in your life to drag you to certain events. Like, you know, like for some people, especially if you grew up in college and you're away from everything, you might have that roommate that was really big into working out and everything. And you kind of wanted to work out, but you didn't really know how to go about it. sometimes if you have the right people in your life, they can push you into that direction. And then you could start doing it and you're just like, wow, this is actually kind of fun. So I think that's part of the reason, or at least a very big reason why a lot of nerds aren't really into working out. It's just, it's the antithesis of what they do on the day-to-day, which is watching a lot of entertainment, absorbing a lot of entertainment, playing a lot of video games, and doing things surrounding that benefit it. And honestly, I feel like it's time for a change, right? It's time for a change. And that's the one thing I do love about social media. You get to see the lives of a lot of different people in their day-to-day and what they're doing. You know, you have a lot of people who are big into this anime video game nerd shit, but they're also really big into working out as well. Not saying that they need to go ahead and make that their whole identity, but it's just like, hey, you see other people who are into the stuff like you could look up to them. And nowadays, because information is so accessible to a point where you could just go on your phone and type in how to start working out, you can start getting healthy just like that. Before, you had to like read books, or you had to like buy magazines, or like look at like the biggest guy or the person in shape and ask them what they did. Now you have like literal thousands and thousands of articles and videos and personalities and people who can help you out. So there really isn't an excuse nowadays. It comes down to the person and if they want to do it. So I don't necessarily think that we need to like bully folks into working out and getting healthy, because at the end of the day, remember, it's like I say about everything else in life. It's your life. You got one body. You have 24 hours a day. You spend that doing whatever the hell you want to do, right? And that's it. That's all it is at the end of the day. If I was a salesperson, I would tell people, I would do the whole shtick you see online, like saying, are you tired of being this? Are you tired of being that? You know, elevate yourself, blah, 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 buy my mastermind course or whatever. But yeah, it's nah, it's literally just that. People don't feel like it's a priority in their life yet. But once it becomes a priority in their life, it starts changing a bit. But yeah, that's basically that. Let's see who else we got. We have 2-hour super chat coming in from Flame. Neo, I'm proud of you. You were on time for Unlocked. Yeah, I was on time for Unlocked. In fact, I was early for Unlocked. Thank you very much, Flame. Thank you very much. I was just sitting in that waiting room like, when is this gonna happen? We got $5 coming in from GC Plugs. Bro, when are you doing this every week? You bound to see a birthday or two. Also, happy birthday, Royal. Yeah, I know, bro. But at the same time, all of y'all's birthdays are during Ask Neo, or the day before Ask Neo, or the day after Ask Neo. You know what I'm saying? We got a $2 super chat coming in from Hibachi. Can you talk about Jamie Foxx? So I'm not too familiar with what's happening with Jamie Foxx as of now. I know like a few weeks ago, there were reports, there were a couple of health scares surrounding him. And then there was that tweet from Daily Loud on Twitter saying that like his family was preparing for the worst because of his health conditions and everything. But then his daughter came out and said that, no, my dad is doing just fine. Don't believe any of the stuff that you read online and everything. So it seemed like it was fake news. I don't know if there's been any updates since about that, but the only thing I can say is that I just wish Jamie Foxx the best with whatever it is he's going through, whether he is recovering from something currently or he's still battling something currently. You know, Jamie Foxx is one of the all-time greats. And, you know, the more years that this guy has on planet Earth, the world is better for that. You know, Jamie Foxx is awesome. We got Seeker in the chat. We got Agent Buckshot, HR Bomber, Nostalgia Trip. What's going on, gentlemen? How y'all doing? I hate to say it, but sometimes it takes a bit of positive shaming for the right reasons, health being a big thing. Yeah, Red Sage, it's one of those things where I had a phase in my life, like when I was really, really big into the gym shit. I'd say probably like when I was like 3-4 years in, where, you know, I was definitely that type of person who was just like, oh, well, to all my friends who were, I guess, at risk of going through stuff, I was just like, oh, you know, like, don't you want to better yourself? Don't you want to this, that, whatever? And then I realized that it wasn't my place to say those things, because when that person is ready, they will take that step. They will make that change. And yeah, sometimes it does come with them hearing words from their doctor, but that's them. That's their story. You know what I'm saying? Just like the same way I won't shame somebody who wants to spend, you know, $300 on figurines or whatever, because that's their money. Those are their bills and shit that they worry about. And fuck me if, like, for example, like someone is obviously going to take issue with the fact that I have a Grogu doll right here, or the fact that I have like an Xbox Elite controller. I spent $180 on that controller and everything. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because it's my life and I choose to do what I want to do. But if one of my friends were to come to me and they were to ask me questions about something, I'm always there to help them. Always. Like the amount of people who I've had talk to me about like just small questions, and I just say one thing, and then they come back to me a few years later and they're like, you know, that one little conversation we had for 20 minutes really changed my life. And I was like, I didn't intend to do that. I was just offering advice. And see, that's what it's all about, y'all. Like, it's not about you got to change somebody's lives to make an impact. Sometimes it could come from small little positive reinforcement, or, you know, to comment about what oh, I just lost the comment right here. Where did it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? Red Sage said sometimes it is giving people the news that they need to hear, not what they want to hear. Like, sometimes it's a combination of all those things. And sometimes it's also Corey Gryffindor coming in here talking about OnlyFans. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Angel says, hit that like button, guys. Yeah, it's a fact, y'all. If you enjoying the stream, make sure you hit that like button. It helps out the channel tremendously. We have a $9.99 super chat coming in from Zack Rodriguez. We got to redefine the nerd stereotype and turn it into good-looking nerds. I feel like a lot of people give us a bad rep and look. We got to be like Solid Rev, man. Man is a gamer, but swole too. You know what the funny thing is? Rev wasn't really a big gamer until like the past 15 years or so. Rev, like, I think, like, what was it? Like, to give you an example about Rev, Rev was that type of dude that would roast all the gamers and the nerds and doing shit like midnight launches and everything. But when he started playing video games and The Witcher 3 became one of his favorite games of all time, like, sometimes that's all you need, man. But yeah, you know, redefining the stereotype, I think it comes from just choosing to be a better person, choosing to be a classier individual. Now, I'm not saying you got to redefine everything about you, but, you know, take the baby steps. Like I always tell people, get yourself haircuts pretty regularly. Bathe yourself frequently. That is the most important key to the success. Because every single time I go to conventions and I'm just like, please let them beat the nerd stereotype allegations, please. And then you go in there, you get one sniff of the game room, and it's just like, dang. Long story short, it's over. We ain't never going to recover from this. But it's small stuff like, you know, personal hygiene and grooming, finding your sense of fashion. You don't necessarily have to look like all the other guys out there, but finding fashion that works well with you, what you like, your body type, things like that. It can come from a lot of different things, but sometimes you need to have people in your circle to tell you those things. Like, as fucked up as this sounds, y'all, I'm that type of dude that be shaming folks for how they smell. Listen. There should be no reason that I see somebody at a convention and they're spending hundreds of dollars on merch. They spent $100 on these tickets. There should be no reason in the world that these motherfuckers is lining up to see voice actors, lining up to play a game, and y'all motherfuckers can't afford a $5 bar of soap or an $8 can of deodorant or whatever it is. Washing your ass is free. Washing your ass is free via goodhygiene.co. Like these things are so my girlfriend and I, if you're there, Mabel, my girlfriend and I, we went to the Zelda Tears of the Kingdom midnight launch, right? We went to that. It was her very first midnight launch. It was my first midnight launch in almost 10 years. And so, you know, it's like, oh, we're going to have some fun. We're going to be around nerds. We're going to do our own thing. It's great. Great time to be alive. $8 for deodorant is crazy. I'm just giving a ballpark. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not even $8 like that. But if you get like a nice 2-pack, you can get it for $8. But regardless, these motherfuckers be spending $300 on a lewd figurine, yet $8 is breaking the bank. I will not. Oh, anyways. So my girlfriend and I, we went to the midnight release of Zelda, the midnight launch of Zelda. Like I said, haven't done a midnight launch in almost 10 years. So I'm excited about it. She's excited about it. But in the back of my mind, I'm dreading. I am dreading what potentially could go down at this GameStop. And it has nothing to do with GameStop itself, right? I've had nothing but good experiences with GameStop recently, you know? Like, I got some good people working at my GameStops. But man, we pull up there and I was just like, ugh, here we go. And to my surprise, it did not smell as bad as I thought it would. I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna make it through it. Y'all. But man, if it's not the stink that could potentially take somebody out. What's up, Bella? How you doing? That's Bella. That's my little sister right there. And we got Cutter Freeman in the chat. What's up, bro? if it's not the stink that could take people out, it's some of the mannerisms. Like I said, I'm not talking about all nerds. So if you are a nerd and you don't do this, this does not apply to you. But when we was going up in there, right? Like I said, the GameStop employees, mad cool, mad dope dudes. They was just like, hey guys, listen, it's about to be midnight. So in order to make this run smoothly, because we had probably, all things considered, between people inside and people outdoors, we had like well over 50 people at this midnight launch, which is low when you compare it to like all the other places that had like 100+ people. It was crazy. So we lucked out. So the guy was just saying like, all right, you guys, so we're gonna, make it really easy for everybody. We have 2 registers set up here. So all we're gonna need y'all to do is just form a line, single file, one by one, for the people who pre-ordered the game. And he said this shit like probably 3 times in a row. He said, yeah, for people who only pre-order the game, we're not taking people who are gonna try to see if they can buy a copy last minute. These are people who pre-ordered and already spent their money. And of course, you got these people who just don't fucking listen, or they just like, they don't know social cues, bro. There was this dude behind us, right? This man looked like he had some Benjamin Button disease going on, because this dude was short as fuck, but he looked like a grown man and a child at the same time. It's like he didn't really have a lot of hair up top, and his face looked like an old man, but it was like young, if that makes sense. Shit was weird, man. He looked like a character coming straight out of Redfall. This is insane. But his hands were in proportion to his body, though, so maybe Redfall's not the best reference. I digress. The first thing this dude said was, well, I shit you not, this is how he sounded. Well, how are you gonna know who exactly was here first? How are you guys going to do that? And the guy, the very, very nice cashier, was just like, well, it's gonna go based off of how the lines are set up, right? So you can figure that out amongst yourselves. And this man was just like, well, shouldn't you guys have figured out like there was a system about who was in the store first so we can get our midnight copies? And I was just like, in my mind, I was like, this is not happening right now. This fucking dude, like, bro, literally there was maybe 50 people in there. At most, it would take 15 minutes to clear out that entire GameStop. And this dude is arguing of like, what, a 30-second difference? Like, bro, it isn't. There are bigger things in life. And I'm not just talking about the fact that everything else in life is bigger than him, but there are bigger things in life, whether or not you get this Zelda copy at midnight. And then it got even worse, because after my girlfriend and I got our copies, we was rocking back to the car and everything, get back in the car, and this dude was literally riding, I don't know if he was he on a scooter or something, babe? I have no fucking idea. But this dude was on a scooter, and literally, like, my girlfriend is about to pull off from the curb, and this dude is, again, no, he doesn't pay attention to anything. Situational awareness is at -5. Common courtesy and decency does not exist. She was about to pull off from the curb, and this dude is like literally riding the scooter right near the wheel of her car. And honestly, if we weren't going to be in the wrong, I would have just been like, nobody would ever know. And just that right there, I already know 15 years from now, I'm about to be canceled. But hey, listen, man, like, yo, you see a car's pulling out, like, and you just riding the scooter right there, like, bro. Anyways, y'all should have given him a wedgie. Absolutely, y'all should have given him a wedgie. Yo, Tony, what's going on, y'all? We got the Adventures of New Yokio in the chat. We making fun of nerds tonight, bro. We making fucking nerds. Oh, God, and we got the biggest nerd of them all, Black Bond. This motherfucking guy. Anyways, everybody ignore Black Bond. But yeah, man, you would have been in the right considering how he's acting. Maybe we might have been, bro, but I digress. So going back to what you originally said, Zack Rodriguez, it's got to come from within, man. Good hygiene, as weird as that sounds, it comes from within. And by that, it means washing your ass, putting on deodorant, wearing clothes that fit, that don't ride up in the armpits, washing your ass, using soap, using water, using shampoo, using conditioner, getting haircuts regularly. There are more shoes than just those Nike shoes that y'all be buying, or the New Balances y'all be buying. Y'all are 28. Y'all ain't 58. Anyways, I digress. Man, some nerds are just bad. Well, listen, that's what it is. It's true. Yes, Bella, I did get a haircut. I got a haircut last week. Summer's coming, so I just had way too much hair. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna rock it short for a while. That man went home and went Super Saiyan 3. Well, he didn't go Super Saiyan 3 no pussy, we know that. Anyways, I digress. Let me stop being a bully. Let me stop being a bully for the night, unless you guys want me to be a bully for the night. Someone's like, I need to find a reason to cancel Neo. Oh, here's the reason. He's a bully to nerds. And I'll be like, absolutely. If I ever got canceled for being a bully to nerds, I would just be like, I'm going to still do it. I'll still do it, y'all. Like, yo, you do not understand the type of nerd I was growing up, man. I was nothing like these dudes. My mom bathed me since I was a kid, and she taught me, if you start smelling yourself and it's a problem, then you know other people have already started smelling you. And I was like, fuck, she's right. So I made sure, man, showered every day, non-negotiable, brush your teeth, non-negotiable. Because that's the last thing my mom would want, to find out that her kid was smelly as fuck. We bully and say less. Absolutely. We only want to bully you. We don't you to bully. Was that even English, Don Otaku? Was it? I don't know. My stylist canceled twice in the last 2 months. She's gone quicker than a fat bitch. Jesus, Bond. This man said quicker than a fat bitch. Well, couldn't you? I feel like there was more joke potential in there. There was definitely more joke potential. Oh shit, we have got a $6.99 Canadian super chat coming in from Colin, my boy. How you doing, bro? I miss you. Hey Chris, how are you tonight, man? Oh, I'm doing better since I see you, bro. Have you ever successfully completed an all social link run of any Persona game without using New Game Plus? No, I haven't ever done that. I've never done that before in my life. Just mainly because when I'm playing through the Persona stories like the first time, I play it the way I want to. So there were a lot of social links, like for example, in Persona 5 that I just didn't do the first time around. And that's because I was playing through the story. I was just maxing out the characters I wanted to max out. And if I ever did want to max out other characters, I would do that on my second playthrough. So my first run of any Persona game is just doing it the way I want to. And then after that, in subsequent playthroughs, obviously with New Game Plus, I'll max out everything else. But never all in one go or with the stipulation that you can't use New Game Plus. Okay, so Gustavo Bravo just texted me on Instagram. He said, attention to your chat. Wash your ass. Wash your fucking ass. That's why I don't do midnight releases. Not trying to smell nasty ass people. Yo, my boy Joaquin was at a midnight launch, and he unfortunately got the worst of the worst, y'all. He put on strong ass cologne, and he was smelling his shirt every 2 minutes, but the stench of everything surrounding him, it was like a biohazard. It was a biohazard in this shit, man. It was terrible. It was terrible. We have $1.99 super chat coming in from Long Live Kevin Samuels. What happened to the kid that went Super Saiyan? I have no idea. I remember a few years after that, he tried to be a rapper or something. I don't know how that worked. $5 coming in from Hibachi. Remember that pregnant chick I was talking about? She wants to name... Oh my god. Oh, you, Acebreaker, and Cutter Freeman. The most savage trifecta. Hibachi says, remember that pregnant chick I was talking about? She wants to name her baby after me and send me snaps of her coochie. I might make a move. Should I? Hibachi, what kind of influence do you got going on that you got pregnant women to name their kids after you, bro? Like, yo, Acebreaker is just like, teach me. Hey, you know what, Playboy? Like, you just seem like too powerful of an individual, my friend. Like, you just out here... I don't know what you doing, bro, but you different. You different. Like, listen, I've met a lot of people in my day, but I've never got somebody say they want to name their kid after me. What do you got? This man got the secret sauce. Unlimited, untouched Riz, bro. I want you to do something. I'm not telling you what to do, but I want you to do something because I like these stories, Hibachi. I want to see where this goes. I need the next season of this. Hopefully you're able to write this and get this out before the writer's strike gets even worse. This man, David Biglad, said a win is a win. Oh my god. David, must you be so crass, my friend? Oh my god, y'all are terrible. But I love the entertainment. $1.99 from Blue Senshi, sending you an IG message because YouTube is soft as fuck. Yeah, I saw that. I was wondering, like, yo, why did he send this? And it's like, oh yeah, because YouTube would not let him say that shit. They're like, wait, what did you want to say? No. $1.99 from Zack Rodriguez. That man is literally the gamer stereotype. Sheesh. Yo, he was Zack. This man talk about Tears of the Kingdom. there's a pun in there that I could make. Hey Tony, if you still watching the stream, make a bar out of that. This man worried about the wrong type of kingdom, bro. He ain't gonna get no bitches in his kingdom. The only tears he could be crying is himself. $5 from JFam. Nah, but imagine the Smash Midnight launch. Literally worse than Chernobyl. Golly. That's why I would never. Yo, I would say this much, because y'all know with the success of that Mario movie, you know Nintendo trying to work on a Smash Bros. Project. I'm going to just tell y'all this. That will be the first movie that I have pirated in years. That will be the first movie that I sail the high seas for. Because ain't no way in the world I'm going anywhere near a movie theater complex when the Smash Brothers movie comes out. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. I want to live. I want to live. Bro, I might just walk into that theater and just smell the musk, the odor, the funk. I might come out a changed man. I might literally become a supervillain. I might go to jail. I might go to jail, bro. I might go to jail for this. Yo, could you imagine being, no. Only if you buy a ticket and it comes with a gas mask. That's the only way I go to a Smash Bros. Theater. Hell no. Listen, I'm not exaggerating. When I say those motherfuckers don't wash they ass, bro, they do not. They do not, man. Smell like sweat, ass, onions, all that shit rolled up in one. It is bad. No way. Yo, I am not. Listen, all right. Are y'all going anywhere near a theater? It's Neo's origin story. This is my villain arc. This is my fucking villain arc, bro. This is how I'm going to become the Green Goblin. You want to know how I become the Green Goblin? Because, like, whatever that experiment was, it turned me into the Green Goblin. That shit, bro. Whenever I smell the funk and the odor, it just triggers that, bro. Oh, it's terrible. $4.99 from Corey Gryffindor. You go into the midnight release for Final Fantasy 16. You know, I might do that, Corey, because I did pre-order the special edition at GameStop, and if they doing a midnight launch for that, I'm gonna go pick it up. You know, I mean, granted, it's not as. The thing about that game is, like, by the time I get that thing installed in my system, that shit about to be like 1:30 in the morning, because you basically got to re-download the whole game anyway. So you got to go ahead and do that. So I'm just like, oh man. Do I want to? Because I was just going to buy it digitally, but the Steelbook for a really good game, I'm going to do it. So I'm going to do it. $10 coming in from Nostalgia Trip. Hey, Neo, I need your advice. Should I pay the aftermarket prices for Persona Q2 or pray that Atlas would port it? P.S. You were the nerd that brought Hammer to the Disney Channel and iCarly. Never changed. Oh, yeah, I was that guy. I was the nerd that complained about all of that shit. Disney Channel, Cartoon Network, late 2000s, early 2010s. Yo, man, nigga Neo was different. That man had that angsty teenage energy. Seeing Real? Yo, that was my real villain. That was my villain origin story, Seeing Real. Golly, man. Y'all think that Neo is reckless now? No, Neo is tame by comparison to back in the days, man. All the OG fans, y'all know what it's talking about. Oh, bro. But yeah, to answer your question as far as like Persona Q2, well, here's the thing. As far as Atlas, when it comes to the porting stuff, they're very shaky, man. Like every now and then they'll do a port of like a Shin Megami Tensei game people want, and then they'll spend like 40 years waiting to port the Persona games. The likelihood of them porting that, I think, is very, very low. I don't have the sales data on it, but I don't think that they were the highest selling spinoffs and people are clamoring for it. If anything, I could probably see them doing a new game because, you know, that is Q2, that was on the 3DS, right? And there aren't really a lot of 3DS ports onto the Switch. You have a couple of them on there, but those are mainly the games that weren't 3DS focused kind of games, if that makes sense. They were usually games that existed on other systems, and it's like, hey, the 3DS is the only handheld, so it's like, fuck it, we'll do something there. Like Monster Hunter it's been around on consoles and handhelds for the longest time, so whenever they ported Monster Hunter from the 3DS onto the Switch, it was a natural progression because that kind of style of game is it's available on everything. But Q2 and the things that are just more intrinsic to the 3DS, I think there's a lower likelihood of that happening, even though them releasing on the Switch they would make more sales, or at least make whatever it's going to cost to port them. But honestly, Atlas is very lazy. Atlas, like I said, Atlas is like that type of person that is surprised when the most obvious and like highly requested game does well. Like, oh my God, we were surprised about the sales of Persona 4 Golden on PC. Really? Really? The game that people have been spamming you guys every single day for about, what, close to 8 years? You're surprised that that game did well on PC? Really? So, yeah, no. I would just, if you really want to play it, spend the cash and get it in your collection. Because remember, if it's in your collection, it's only going to appreciate from there. Because I'm sure there's going to be other people who want it too. 199 from Zack Rodriguez. I'm dying, man. This is the best kind of Neo. Hey, man, like, sometimes you gotta bring out that energy. We all have one more in us. We have a $4.99 super chat coming in from Battlefield Joe. Guzman, I didn't see your super chat. Maybe, I don't know if you sent it just to support or you just sent it and you forgot to type something. Either way, feel free to Instagram message me and I'll read it on air for you, bro. Yeah, emulation is also a way if you really do want to play the game. All right, so we went through a bunch of super chats right now. Thank y'all so much for that. Should we talk about some Zelda? Should we talk about some Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, y'all? Should we talk about this? It's been about an hour since we started the stream, and we didn't really bring up some Zelda talk. Should we? Well, we did. We talked about the musty-ass niggas. But should we talk about it? Let me know. Okay, so Battlefield Joe, his super chat was, where's the iCarly review? Do I gotta pay for a Paramount Plus subscription for you to get to it? Wait, are you talking about the new iCarly, like the revival? If so, I haven't even watched the revival, bro. I've heard decent things about it. I heard a lot of people say that it's one of the better revivals, and it's kind of aged with its audience, so it's not just the iCarly show from before. They deal with like a little bit more mature subject matter. I have a Paramount Plus subscription, so I don't know. We might do like a watch party or something where we just watch like the first episode or something. Yeah, let's go ahead and let's talk about so all right, so I show of hands, who's watching the stream or listening to the stream and playing Zelda right now? I know there's a couple of y'all doing that. Yes, I'm playing it right now. See, there's Bella. I just made it to the Wind Temple. There's D'Angelo. Just got my collector's edition today. Eh? I heard it's good. Tell me your thoughts. Are we about to? I made it to the Water Temple on accident. I left immediately because I didn't want to do that yet. Yes, let's talk about Link's war crimes that people have been doing. They hated him because he spoke the truth, that being Link. Right, I wish I'm doing errands right now. Look at Don Otaku being a productive member of society. You doing shopping? If you're doing shopping, you better bring me back some food, bro. I want some snacks. I want some cookies, bro. All right, so a lot of people are doing it. I'm at work listening, but I'll play it when I get back. Hey, I appreciate that. Getting the Master Sword again tonight. Holy. I'm playing it right now. It's charging. You meet me? Yeah, okay. All right. So we'll talk about some Zelda. But we just got a $5 super chat coming in from Acebreaker. Oh boy. Let's see. Let's prepare ourselves. Zelda Tears of the Kingdom changed my life, made me go see my kids, volunteer at the soup kitchen, teach kids to read. 100 out of 10. LOL JK. It's fire though. Yo, I will say this much though. So the discourse surrounding this game has been awesome, dude. It's been legendary. And listen, the second I say legendary, you know who is going to come to this chat saying, oh, the only thing that's legendary are the games that you are ducking. Fuck that nigga Bond. Anyway, so yeah, the reviews about Zelda is so fucking funny because it kind of reminds me of like when God of War 2018 came out, and I think somebody did a review and they seriously said that God of War 2018 made me a better father. And I was just like, hey, yo, listen, I get what you're going for, but there's some things that you don't got to take it to that extreme. You could say that God of War Ragnarok it brought a lot of memories of me being a father back or shit like that. But when this man said that game made me a better father, if Kratos being originally like just one of the worst fathers because of the shit that he went through and how his anger and everything, and he fueled it, and that basically drove a wedge between him and Atreus. If you were at that point and it taught you to be better, I gotta question your kid and what your kid has been through. Like that's that right there. Oh boy. But yeah, like when we see like, because I already know there's gonna be a review out there. I haven't read all of them where someone said Tears of the Kingdom legit brought tears to my eyes. It is the reason why I wake up every morning and I take a breath and I just want to go outside and touch grass. It's that crazy. But listen, if you love the game, by all means, because wait, $2 from Julian Phoenix. Did you play Zelda Oracle of Ages for the GBA? Yeah, I played one of those. I never owned it. Actually, it was one of the few Zelda games I rented and I just never bought. What was it? Or let me see which one I had. I know it's been a while. Hold on. Zelda Oracle Shit, honestly, I don't remember which one I had. I think it was Oracle of Ages I played. Because it's Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons, right? Yeah, I think I rented Oracle of Ages. Yeah. Okay, anyway, so let's get back to talking about this Zelda. Let's talk about this Zelda. All right. So let's start at the top. And you guys know me, I'm very long-winded when it comes to my explanations. So I'm not just gonna come out here and say the game is great or trash. But you guys might recall when I bought the Switch. I got the Switch a couple months after it came out. It came out in March. I think I bought it in like November. Zelda was one of the first games I bought. I played Zelda, and I really wasn't feeling it at the time. I couldn't understand the hype. A big part of me thought that the reason why people was hyping up Zelda is because a lot of these dudes had only gamed on Nintendo platforms, and they didn't play any other open world games like Skyrim or The Witcher 3. And you know, during those years, I was on my Witcher 3 high, bro. Like, I had already done 2 playthroughs of it. Legitimately is still one of the greatest games of all time, in my opinion. So I'm comparing every single open world game to The Witcher 3. And if it doesn't fit that bar, I'm just like, why did you make an open world game in the first place? So playing Zelda, I was like, okay, this is nothing like The Witcher 3. You know, there's really no story to follow. The missions in the game are not that great. You know, the weapon durability system, like there's all these little annoyances that I was just like, oh, why am I playing this game? Like, what's the fun about it? So I put in, I think, like 15 hours into it. I just dropped it. I went on my hater spiel for a solid year and a half. And then for whatever reason, around the beginning of 2019, I was like, I need something to play. I need something new to play. What can I play? So I was just like, all right, you know, I have Breath of the Wild. I haven't played Zelda in like a year and a half. Let me go ahead and restart it. And so I restarted the game, and I was like, you know what? Let me just judge this game on its own merits. Let me see what it's trying to do. Start playing the game, and I was like, ugh, the stamina system. I gotta cook to do the basic shit, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, all right, dude, just play the game. So I start playing the game, and I remember there was this point in this mission where I think I was stuck trying to do something. And I was like, all right, let me see if I can find a workaround, or I can find another passage to go to this one place. And then I started exploring, and then I found like this whole completely separate thing that I wasn't even supposed to be doing. And I was like, oh, wow, this is really cool. So I went to this place, and I got this dope-ass item, and I was like, huh. So I went off the beaten path, and it rewarded me for that. Okay, well, back to the mission. Go and finish the mission. And then I was just like, okay, but what's over there? What is that thing happening there? And I was like, oh shit, this is really cool, bro. And then before I knew it, I started scaling all these mountains. I started like brewing all these dishes that gave me like crazy stamina just so I can scale them with no issues. And then I'll never forget, I was like, wow, you know, I'm having a lot of fun with this shit. I started streaming the game for fun. And I got, of course, you know, whenever you stream Zelda, you get just all the Zelda hits to come out. And I started playing the game. And I remember we got to the top of like this mountain. I think it was like a really cold mountain. And this, you guys, I think you already know what I'm talking about. I was at the top of this mountain, and maybe like 50 feet away from me was this giant fucking dragon. This huge dragon just in the sky that you can see if you're at the bottom. But if you're at the very top of it, it was ridiculously close. And it was just like one of those moments where I was like, whoa. And that's where the game truly clicked for me. You know, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom is not necessarily about being like any other open world game where it's about clearing the entire map and all your waypoints and doing all the missions and blah, blah, blah. It's a different type of open world. It's basically open world in the sense that you make your own fun. You have fun. Sure, you can do all the things that you're supposed to do, but there's so much more fun that comes from just doing things at your own pace and not following what other people are doing, just doing stuff and finding new ways to do things that other people have been doing. Because for the most part, it's like if you look up a guide for something, it'll tell you how to do it. But then with Breath of the Wild, if you look up like 10 different videos, there might be people finding 10 different ways to go about doing something. And that shit was just so fucking cool to me, man. What's up, Dominique Richardson? How you doing, bro? Don Otaku, for the longest time, I wondered why I didn't make you a mod. You're now a mod. You're now a mod. So there were all these things where I was just like, wow, this is cool. And it brought like a different variety to my, like, what I expected in open world games, to the point where, like, after I played the game, I was like, you know, I kind of want to buy the DLC and see what that's all about. And then if you buy the DLC and you do all that, it's just like more of that childlike wonder. And it's just the weirdest explanation. And I was like, oh, wow, that's what they're going for. So, you know, after that game comes out, I'm like, okay, they got Tears of the Kingdom. It's going to be running on the OG Switch. Like, how much better could this game be? They're going to be reusing the map and they're going to do different stuff. But, like, how? Because the fear of sequelitis, the fear of, oh, is this just going to be DLC if you loved Breath of the Wild? Like, how are they going to go about doing this? It's been 6 years since this game came out, and it's not a new generation. It's still the same generation. And they somehow found a fucking way to do it, dude. Like, it's the craziest thing. I am enjoying my time playing Tears of the Kingdom way more off the rip than I did Breath of the Wild. I feel like Tears of the Kingdom just has a better sense of, we know the vast majority of people who are playing this game, they've already played Breath of the Wild. They don't need the same ways that we started Breath of the Wild. They don't need that. They know what they're walking into. And you just play Tears of the Kingdom and it just goes off the rip. It's got a badass intro, man. A really cool fucking intro that really just sets the mood for everything. And then you just go into the world, and it's not necessarily about getting all the abilities you had before. It's like, no, we're gonna give you all the new shit, bro. We're gonna give you the God Hand ability, which is what I'm calling the God Hand ability. You're gonna get that. You're gonna have the Ascend ability. You're going to have the Fuse mechanic. And in just the first couple hours of playing the game, and oh, shout out to Don Otaku, who became a member of the Phantom Weirdos. Thank you, my brother. It's funny. He's like, yes, now he finally made me a mod. I can support this fuck nigga. Thank you, bro. It's just like, wow, so you're giving me all these new tools, and you're also opening up the world a lot faster than Breath of the Wild, so I can use these tools and have my fun. Like, dude, it is fucking sick. Like, even when you're on the first, like, before you get back to the old world, like, even when you're in the fucking sky, that sense of mystery and wonder is there. Like, yeah, you could go and you could unlock the shrines and do that stuff, but at the same time, it's like, what's down there? You know, like, you just go down there and it's like, oh, that was fun. And I'll never forget this moment, man. This is where I knew, like, even though at the time I'd only unlocked 2 abilities, and the only one I was really using was the God Hand ability. I was stuck at the bottom of this place. And the thing about the God Hand ability is that, like, again, it goes back to making your own fun. You can go ahead and you can arrange things a certain way so you can traverse the environment, traverse the world, right? There was a way that I could have gone about doing something that's very simple for traversal's sake. But then I was just like, you know what? Let me see if I can do this instead. So instead of, like, bringing all those big giant fixtures down and then just hopping on top of them to get to the top and go back to, like, the main part, I was like, I'm gonna chop down all the fucking trees in this area, and I'm gonna see how long of a pole I can make, and I want to see if I could climb this pole to get to that first one and just hop on everything else. So I chopped off all the trees in this little area, this at the bottom of this basin or whatever, and I attached all of those. This thing is like, I don't know, 50 feet long at this point. Obviously an exaggeration, but I was like, all right, let me see if I can run up the top of this shit and see how long I can get. And sure enough, I ran as much as I can, and then I was just climbing and using the stamina to get to the top, and I made it to the top, and I was just like, this shit's fucking cool, bro. And I know it doesn't sound cool if I'm explaining it to you, but if you play the game, that's just an example of, like, you inventing your own fun and going about things your own way. And mind you, I am not the first person to ask when it comes to, like, these building games like Minecraft or, you know, like aspects of Fortnite or, you know, like Dragon Quest builders, like those type of things. Like, if you were to tell me, like, hey, yo, Neo, you're gonna play this game and you're gonna make your fun and you're gonna make a house and you're gonna do all these things, get these resources and materials, I'd check out immediately, bro. I just, the second you said build, I was like, I'm fucking out of here, bro, because I'm creative, but in different ways. Like, I can build shit. Like, I can build a YouTube channel. I can be creative like that. But if you talk about being an engineer and making a fucking house and all that shit and making a teapot, like, yeah, I'm gonna make a fucking teapot for my place, bro. Like, the building aspect of Fallout, like, I don't really care about that. But man, I just be playing Breath of the Wild and I was just like, oh, this is my car. This is my fucking car. Look at these fucking engines. Look at this shit. It can fly. Like, like, that's just so fucking cool, dude. So yeah, you know, I'm having a lot of fun in the game. I'm not really focusing obviously I'm not focusing too much on the story. I'm just going around. I'm obviously like doing as much of the shrines as I can, just unlocking as much of the map as I can. And it's great, dude. It's great. Fuck the Koroks. Fuck the Koroks. The Korok extermination plan is currently underway on my end. I don't know how it is in y'all's game, but the Koroks are definitely going to go ahead and we're going to get them the fuck up out of there. People call it the Korok Crusades. Yeah, I would agree with that. And it's fun, dude. And not once does it feel like the game is too overwhelming. It doesn't feel as if there's just so much to do. Like, okay, for example, when I open up like a Ubisoft game or whatever, I look at that map and I just groan, bro. I'm just like, oh, there's just a lot of shit here that's busy work. Zelda doesn't feel like busy work. It doesn't feel like busy work at all. It feels as if like you don't know what's coming. Like with not Fallout, but with Far Cry and all that shit, it's like, oh, here's an enemy camp. Clear it out and you'll get a reward. Yay! You know? But with Zelda, it's like, what's across that ravine? Oh my god, there's this hidden discovery. There's this mine here with all these cool things. Woo! It's literally, you know what it is? It kind of reminds me of the meme, the flirting versus harassment meme. Where it's like that dress looks good on you and two people say it. One is a really ugly guy and one is like a Brad Pitt looking guy. That's kind of what it feels like with this game compared to like Ubisoft open world games. Like this, in the sense that wonder, mystery, and discovery can be had with both games. It's just like Nintendo does it better. They just do it better. It's insane, man. It's insane. But yeah, I'm really fucking enjoying the game a lot, you guys. It's just one of those things where it brings me back to that time when I played video games and I wondered, like, this is possible. This is possible, man. And every single time I boot up this game and I find something different, because it rewards you for doing different shit. And I'm sure you guys have seen videos online for people in the community. They'd be doing some random stuff just for fun, building fucking kaiju mechs. You know, I saw one video from somebody where they did like something with, they threw like an ice thing in the water, and then they did the recall time thing, and they made it like basically, long story short, they were able to attach that to a stick. They did the fuse mechanic, and now they had this ice stick that could create like ice platforms in the water. Like, it was fucking crazy. If I can find the video again, I will tweet it out. But I was just like, what? Now, mind you, I'm saying all this to say that if you were someone who really didn't like Breath of the Wild or the idea of Breath of the Wild, I don't know if this game is necessarily for you. There have been some people who said they couldn't get into Breath of the Wild, but they got into Tears of Kingdom just fine. Maybe give it a second shot. But I'll say this much, like, it's definitely like all those high scores and everything. I can see what people are talking about, because there is just so many layers and levels to this fucking game that they didn't show off at all. There's so much shit in this game, so many surprises, and it's probably going to take years for people to uncover that stuff. It's great, man. It is great. I will say, though, the performance is not that great at all. It is definitely the weakest part of the game. When you're using the God Hand ability, it can tank the frame rate to the low 20s. When you're doing anything with fire and you're going up against enemies, it will tank the frame rate. It's not to the point where it stops me from playing the game, but when it happens in those moments, it's like, ugh, I really wish we got a Switch Pro. But it's still such a great game that I still want to keep playing. Like, yeah, it doesn't have the best resolution. Yeah, it doesn't have the best frame rate, but it's so good. It's a great game first and foremost. It's just awesome. And when I'm seeing all the discussions from folks online talking about, like, why is Zelda getting a pass for all of these things that you crucified Redfall for, you crucified Forspoken for, you crucified insert X game here. Obviously, it's a different conversation when it comes to the Switch. And it's something that, like, we all had this discussion back in 2017. We know the Switch isn't powerful. We all want a Switch Pro. We want the games to run at 60. We want the games to at least run at 1440p. But it's just not going to be like that. This is a machine from using 2015 technology. So we expect that. Now, it is a little wild that they charge $70 for a game that really, they're just doing it because they can. I'm not saying that $70 games on PlayStation, Xbox are any better if they run like shit, but at least those games can look better. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's Redfall, which you don't look good and you don't run good. It's just like Redfall, of all the games to charge 70. Let me stop. We already talked about Redfall enough. But it's one of those things where I'm not really worried about it. Like, would I want the game to run better? Absolutely. But it's just the only way you're going to get that is if you emulate the game. And if you don't want to emulate it and you just want to play it on Switch, it's going to be like that. And I'm sure with more patches that come out, they'll stabilize the performance like they did with the OG, with the first one. I keep saying like the OG Breath of the Wild, like this is Breath of the Wild too. But yeah, they're probably going to be performance patches to get it to run smoother. But it's just, it's a great fucking game first and foremost. And I think that is why it's so important and why people overlook some of those issues. And I say that to say that they aren't deal breakers. It's not like to the point where I can't play the game and it's crashing. Listen, it's not a Redfall. It's not a Redfall at all. Like this game has more textures than Redfall, which makes no fucking sense to me. I don't understand that. But yeah, I'm really loving Tears of the Kingdom, guys. It's as of right now. And mind you, I have not played Jedi Survivor yet. I have not played Final Fantasy 16 because obviously it's not out. We still have Diablo, we still have Spider-Man, we still have Starfield. But right now, just based off of the fun and the wonder and the mysticism and just all the things that make me want to keep going back to a game like it's it's crack, like Tears of the Kingdom is my game of the year at the moment. And I have no problem saying that just based off of it's a fucking video game, bro. That makes sense, right? It's a fucking video game. Like it just throws you in there. It's like, nigga, have fun. Press buttons. It's great. It doesn't take you out of that experience. Yeah. So yeah, the worst aspects, like I said, are from technical performances, but outside of that, the game is fire, bro. It is awesome. Yeah, I'm like, once I get some downtime from Zelda, I am going to go ahead and I am going to play through Jedi Survivor. Like when I need just a nice break, go through that game because I heard it is fantastic outside the performance issues. And then, of course, we have Spider-Man and Starfield, and I do want to get around to playing Octopath Traveler 2, But 2023 so far has been a great year for games that you already played the framework for. So I'm talking like Dead Space, Resident Evil 4 Remake, Tears of the Kingdom, Jedi Survivor. But yeah, let's get back to some other questions. Because I already know you guys. I can already tell, we might have to cut this stream off early because I'm just looking at my Switch right now. I just want to go back to playing Zelda. So go ahead and get some questions in. We'll go till 9:30, so we'll make sure it's a 2-hour stream tonight, guys. Hearing Zelda talk everywhere is low-key making me want to get the game, but I still got to play Breath of the Wild and other games to play while I'm on Uncharted 3. So Black Swag, I'll say this much. Sure, you can play Breath of the Wild and then go through Tears of the Kingdom, but I will say if you haven't played through Breath of the Wild, I'd say just dive into Tears of the Kingdom because it's the better version of that game. There's so much stuff in Tears of the Kingdom that makes Breath of the Wild look like a tech demo. And I'm not saying that just to hype up the new game versus the old one. There's legitimately some shit here that's just like, you niggas is on acid, bro. Like, it's awesome. But at the same time, there is a lot of cool stuff about the OG Breath of the Wild. And like I said, that's the DNA. That's the root of it. But it's not like one of those things where it's like you need to play. It's not like one of those things where you have to play the first game to appreciate the second one. It's one of those, like, you can just throw yourself into it and have a lot of fun. Like, I would still say play it if you want to, but it's just like this new shit. Play the new shit. We're all playing the new shit. Oh, of course, Flame comes back in just to talk about Octopath Traveler 2. This man said, I'm having so much fun with Tears of the Kingdom that I can't think. That's a stellar endorsement. Could you imagine that? This game is so fun, I can't think. Shit, all this talk is having me playing it right now. Look at that. Guzman's just like, you know what? I'm about to boot it up and play it. Thoughts on the ROG Ally? Okay, yeah, so That's another thing that we learned a lot more about. The ROG Ally got an official, like, we got the specs rundown. Now we got an official price for it. I believe it is retailing. There's going to be 2 models for it, but the one that is available right now for pre-order, last time I checked on Best Buy, it was like $629. Yeah, they were really hyping this up on Best Buy. So right now, the ROG Ally, which is, it's 7-inch, 120 hertz, full HD, 1080p screen, all that stuff with the Ryzen Z1 processor, 512 gigs of storage. That's going for $699 on Best Buy. And I believe they're going to have another one that's going to be a little more expensive that comes out later on in the year. But this one comes out in June. And, you know, as someone who's a big fan of the Steam Deck, I love the Steam Deck. The ROG is like the Steam Deck, but on crack. If you're talking about performance, if you're talking about what you're getting out of it, that thing is insane. Like, just look at any video that somebody's put up and they do like benchmark comparisons, FPS, like we're talking like legit crazy shit, 60 plus frame rates in some games, you know, like it's fucking awesome. So if you're big into that, if you love portable play and you love performance, like no brainer. But the thing is, it comes at the cost of spending $400 more, or close to $400 more. Well, yeah, $400 more after taxes than the Steam Deck, which, you know, the Steam Deck, I still think for $399 is the best bang for your buck portable gaming machine on the market. It's only $50 more expensive than the Switch OLED. You're getting way better performance. You're getting access to Steam. And at the same time, it's not as expensive as the ROG Ally, which that price I think is like $700, like we just said. And the battery life is not that great to achieve those performances, those numbers. So they're saying like in heavy duty performance mode, the ROG Ally is only going to be like 2 hours, but that comes from all the bells and whistles. That comes from all of the like great benefits that you get. Like there are compromises that come with a handheld device. I'm sure if you adjust settings and frame rate and resolution, you can get a better battery life by comparison. But if you want that full power performance, yeah, you're looking at like 2 hours. But yeah, that's what I always say when it comes to portability. You have to manage your expectations to an extent, mind you. But the ROG Ally, even though I love the look of it, it's just, to me, it's not worth spending that $700 for that better performance where it's like, okay, now I'm getting to the close to the price that I would pay for a PC, right? Sure, if you want a really decked out PC, you're going to be spending like $1,500 plus. But to me, it's like the reason why I like the Steam Deck is because it was that $400 price point, which I know Valve definitely, they had to swallow some pride to get it at that price. But I think that's just perfect. It's like a nice workaround. But regardless of it, I think that this is great for the handheld PC market because the more people that are in it, the more players, you'll have situations where Valve is like, all right, you know what? Now we got to make sure that the Steam Deck 2 or the Steam Deck V2 is a much more capable machine. And then you're going to have other people who come in here and do their own thing. And another reason why I don't really like the ROG Ally is that it's not as efficient as the Steam Deck from a usability standpoint when it comes to the interface. So the Steam Deck, as you guys know, runs Linux. And it runs Steam as, you know, like what we used to call like the big picture mode. They've modified it so it works on the Steam Deck. And it's great because you can just pick up the Steam Deck and have little to no issues. The ROG Ally is basically a handheld PC in all the best ways and worst ways possible. So it does have more freedom than the Steam Deck because you could run it like Windows, but at the same time, it's cumbersome because you're running Windows on a handheld tablet. Like most people who love using Windows would rather prefer it be, you know, mouse and keyboard because that's just the way everything's been formulated. So when you look at it like a handheld and you have to control things like that, it's like, yeah, I don't know about that. But regardless, I want to see something like this succeed. I want to see more players in the game. And yeah, it's cool. It's so cool just to consider we have a handheld gaming PC that can output games at well above 60 frames per second. That's insane, dude. That's just fucking like just the Steam Deck being able to output games at the performance that it did is crazy. And now we have more people who are doing that. It's awesome. But yeah, I won't be picking it up anytime soon because I have my Switch OLED. I have my Steam Deck. Steam Deck satisfies all the things that the Switch OLED can't give me. And yeah, for the type of games that I play on the Steam Deck, it's perfect and they run fine. I'm not here playing like graphically intensive powerhouse games on the Steam Deck because I know it's not capable of doing that. One benefit that I get from the Steam Deck is I'm able to play a lot of games that, were from the PS3 360 era that are on PC, and they run at 60 frames and they look great. Playing a lot of like AA games on the Steam Deck, playing like big AAA games from, before 2018, playing those on the Steam Deck, and it's awesome. Like just like Devil May Cry 5, playing that shit on a handheld, 60 frames. Like that is insane, dude. That is so fucking cool. Dragon's Dogma, just random stuff that doesn't have like a modern console version, like Enslaved, Odyssey to the West, Max Payne 3. It's dope, dude. This man makes Steam Deck sound like a girlfriend. Oh, hey, listen, man. All I'm saying is the Steam Deck was here for me at a time when many people weren't. Okay, so let's see. We have a couple of super chats to get through. $4.99 from Long Live Kevin Samuels. Should Zelda move on from Ganon and bring in new villains? Honestly, I think that would only benefit a Zelda experience if they were going to go hard with the storytelling. Because the thing about Zelda, it's like, how they say the 3 constants in life are death, taxes, and insert whatever thing here for the memes. Ganon is just like that constant. It's kind of like doing Batman without the Joker at some point in his life. Like, sure, you can have other Batman villains, but you want to have the Joker because that's just Batman's. It's like the yin to the yang. Ganon, I feel like, is like that with Zelda, mainly because there really hasn't been a Zelda game that gives us that narrative where we can develop more villains. It's always just been the superficial, like, okay, here's Link, he saves the princess, and there's the bad guy, Ganon. If they were to tell more, like, that's why I like Skyward Sword, because it gave us different stuff. It gave us different characters. It gave us like more aspects that we hadn't really seen in the Zelda world like that. But the problem is that they keep doing all the different shit in the Zelda games that, let's be honest, most people have issues with, right? Whether it's the controlling of Skyward Sword or, it's something that's relegated to a handheld or whatever. It's just everything comes back to Ganon. Which I don't mind Ganon as a villain because he's iconic. But I think in order to sell people on a new villain, it'd have to be a Zelda game where you have just more narrative connective tissue. But according to Aonuma, they say that this is going to be the new template for Zelda going forward. So if Zelda is going to be kind of this like make your own adventure spiel, then are they really going to have time to develop a narrative in the traditional sense with new characters and all that? I feel like you'd be sacrificing some of the aspects that people like about the new Zelda games. But then again, I don't know. Like, I could say this now, and then 5 years later, they come out with a game that's exactly that. So we'll see. Should be interesting. $4.99 from Zack Rodriguez. Neo, which Zelda games have you beat? I've only beat Twilight Princess and Breath of the Wild. Got super close to beating Phantom Hourglass 2. I never beat Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask as a kid. Well, you need to fix that, my brother, because those are awesome games. I've pretty much beaten most of the mainline Zelda games. I think the only one... No, I've beaten damn near every single one of the mainline Zelda games. The only ones I really haven't beaten are like the side titles. So, I've played some of them, like Phantom Hourglass. We were talking about Oracle of Ages. But for whatever reason, some of those games just don't hold my interest that much. But definitely the mainline ones, obviously, I play through them to completion. And that's one thing I do hate about Nintendo. I wish we lived in a world where you can have all of the mainline Zelda games available on one system, like just as games. Like, because I would just, like, how crazy it would be to have a Switch that had physical cartridges of Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Skyward Sword, all of those games all together on one system. That would be dope as fuck. $5 from Julian Phoenix. What are your thoughts on Marvel releasing Echo all at once instead of weekly? Yeah, so they just dropped this today, you guys. We got release date updates for 2 Disney Plus Marvel shows, Loki Season 2 and Echo. Loki Season 2 is going to be premiering this October, which is very strange because a lot of us were thinking that, Loki is probably going to be like a late summer sort of thing, but I guess because of, like, let's just say, there's a number of reasons why. Obviously, there was the whole VFX kerfuffle that happened. There was Bob Iger coming back to the company. I think they really do want to space out a lot of the Marvel content so it's not just on top of each other because, we just got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. That's like our big MCU project for the first half. And then we have Secret Wars coming out in June. So I think the last thing they want is just to overstuff everything where it's like, okay, as soon as Secret Wars is over, you have new entertainment to binge. And then after that, you have new entertainment to binge. And then this and that and overlapping. So I would say they're probably delaying it because they do want, number one, first off, the quality of the effects to be good. And then also to give shit breathing room in the MCU. And then also, and this is just my opinion, I feel like they did push Loki all the way to October just because they want to see what's going to happen with the Jonathan Majors situation, because he's currently going through the court stuff right now. Obviously, the legal system in this country moves very slowly, so it's going to be a while before we hear anything. But I think the more time that passes, that gives Disney an opportunity to think, okay, what are we going to do? Because we need to see what happens. Obviously, we want to hear what happens with this case. But at the same time, this man is in Loki season 2. And the last thing it'd be very tone deaf for them to advertise Loki season 2, get excited for new content starring this guy that may or may not be an abuser. You know, the jury's still out. So yeah, that's that. And then out of nowhere, they announced that Echo, which is a spinoff from the Hawkeye show, she's getting her own series. We didn't really hear much about it. It seemed like it might have been pushed to 2024. That's coming out in November, but instead of it being weekly, like all the Disney Plus shows, it's got to come out all at once like Netflix does it, which is, I have two thoughts regarding why they may or may not have the most amount of confidence in Echo. Oh, I literally went almost 2 hours with not drinking water. I was starting to feel it in my voice. I started to hear it in my voice. Okay, so the first reason, which could be from a business point of view, they're testing the waters to see how Disney Plus shows fare when they're done in the binge model, like Netflix does. Whenever they drop Stranger Things or Cobra Kai, it's the entirety of the shows. You don't have to wait to watch them weekly. You can binge them all throughout the day, throughout the weekend, go at your own pace, right? And there's some benefits to having a show that has a binge model. And then there's the traditional model, which is how TV shows still do it to this day, and how a lot of streamers have started doing this, and that's the week-to-week releases. Disney Plus has done that for, I believe, every single one of their shows, whether it's Marvel or Star Wars or their own original content, where you have a premiere date, you have the X-Men episodes, and you just watch it weekly, which is the one that I prefer the most, because if it's for certain shows that I feel like the traditional model benefits a lot more shows than the binge model, because with binge model, unless you are a really popular show like a Stranger Things, or you're something that just catches lightning in a bottle and people watch it and they just keep talking about it with their friends, weekly shows at least have the opportunity to get more engagement. A binge model show, if it doesn't catch lightning, and when it comes time to renew shows, if there's no positive word of mouth or the metrics ain't metricing, then they're fucked. It's like, goodbye. Now, that doesn't mean traditional models will save shows, because we've seen a lot of shows, especially if you watch shows on Fox, that just get canceled because fuck it. But I think at least with the weekly model, it's more water cooler moments where it's like, okay, if you see everybody in your circle talking about this show every week, it's like, all right, let me see what this show is about. I'll watch one episode and you're like, oh shit, I like this. Let me keep binging it and let me watch it when it comes out. That's happened a lot with a lot of series. Like for me, it was Succession. You know, for me, it was a lot of shows on freaking HBO, to be honest. A lot of series. HBO, I still think is like the best streamer when it comes to like high quality production shows. Apple TV Plus is getting up there, but still like HBO's god tier. So it could then be them testing the waters. But then again, I wouldn't be surprised if they're just trying to dump this on Disney Plus day and date because they just don't have the most confidence for it. Because like let's be honest, like when they announced this show, to me it came off as, okay, we just need content at this point. I'm not trying to sit here and diminish the character of Echo. I mean, I'll be honest, I know very little about the Echo character in the comics. I don't really, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend and cap like, oh yeah, I wanted an Echo show, or oh, I don't care about an Echo show. Like, for all I know, it could be a good show when it comes out. But just the problem that I have with a lot of content coming out from Marvel on Disney Plus is that it seems like a lot of their shows are created to sell, well, obviously it's to sell toys, we know that, but to sell one or two key scenes, and then they have to try to make a show around it. which is my biggest problem with some of the shows that come out, like Miss Marvel. I absolutely love Kamala Khan. Iman Vellani just plays her so beautifully. But a lot of the shows surrounding her is just not that well crafted. And I feel like the only reason why they needed a Kamala Khan show was because they're going to put her in the movie with the Marvels. I feel like aspects of these shows are great, but a lot of the other stuff surrounding them isn't that good. It's just there so we can introduce the character. And that's my biggest problem when you're making these shows. If you don't craft this shit out as a show where there's a beginning, a middle, an end, and you know exactly where you're going, everything in between, you can tell it's going to sound like, it's going to feel like dead air throughout the course of it. Mandalorian season 3 felt like dead air for the majority of the show. Sure, there were some good aspects of it, but not enough to warrant a whole season. So, yeah, it could just be them being like, all right, you know what? This character, it might have been a mistake to give her own show. We'll probably throw Daredevil and Kingpin in here just for people to watch it. But yeah, we don't really have a lot of it, so here you go. And they feel as if they dump it all at once, they don't have to deal with like the weekly. Like, you just saw the confidence of people shift with Mando, where it was just like, all right, first episode wasn't that great. Second episode, okay, it was kind of better. Third episode, split people down the middle. I liked it, but people hated it. Then, of course, it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And then there's some shining moments and then not some. It's just basically what it boils down to is just got to get better writers on there, which is why people are striking. You don't have good writers working on this shit. So we'll see what happens. Let's see. $5 from Crazy Black Man went away. Is Yoda a Sith? Oh, my brother. You've been around the block long enough to know that this should not even be asked. Of course Yoda is a Sith. Of course, because he deals in absolutes. Jedi. $2 from Hibachi. The Blade movie is cursed. Yup. It got shut down again, bro. But honestly, man, I'm going to say this. If that Blade movie come out and that shit is a 2-pack of ass, we got to get everybody on Marvel's ass. I feel like that is going to begin my MCU hater arc. I know people have said, well, you've been in your hater arc with Thor, Love, and Thunder and Ant-Man. I was like, no. You're going to see a different. If you reboot Blade and the movie is somehow worse than the last Blade movie we got, or it's just not as good as it could be from a movie from 1998, 1999, there's a problem, Marvel. And when you hear shit coming out, obviously, you just take shit with a grain of salt. When you hear things coming out saying like, yeah, the original script that we have for Blade was not that good. It was only about 90 minutes worth of length, and it had bad action sequences. I'm just sitting here and I'm like, who put this together? Who is in charge of hiring these directors and these writers? If you're telling me that the best you can come out with is that, and you delay it at the last minute twice, I don't know, man. I just like Marvel, even though I loved Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and I think in light of most of Phase 4 and 5 being underwhelming, it makes me love Guardians more because there's heart there. There's vision there. A lot of the recent Marvel stuff, you don't feel it. Like, sure, you feel aspects of it, like Shang-Chi, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. I liked a lot of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. But then you look at a lot of stuff and you're just like, well, a lot of this stuff is good. But then there's stuff that you're just like, why? It wasn't always like that. But yeah, Blade, if they fuck up Blade, bro, MCU hater arc in full effect. I ain't trusting them with nothing else, man. Nothing else. I don't care. Because if that Blade movie comes out and it's terrible, I'll be like, push back both Avengers movies for 40 years until you work this shit out. Because you cannot ruin the first, like, the first proper introduction of Blade in the modern era. You can't do that. Oh, shit. The Five Nights at Freddy's movie dropped a trailer? Okay. We'll check that out. Wakanda is mid, not gonna lie. Outside of the emotional moments and Namor, yeah. Like, the emotional moments were raw as fuck. So good. The best acting in the MCU. Namor as a villain, awesome. All the other forced MCU shit, like what they was doing with Everett Ross and Val, whatever her name is. Oh, God. Get that shit out the movie. All right, so we're going to go for 15 more minutes, you guys, and we're going to wrap it up for the night. watch the Blackening trailer. I will. That's on my list. I've heard somebody else told me to check that trailer out last week. Yeah. I gotta watch that and the Five Nights at Freddy's trailer. And here comes Flame saying, well, what you need to do is finish Oshi no Ko. And I was like, yes, I will. So last minute questions, guys. Do you think Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask should get full HD remakes? I would love that. I really would. But everything just comes down to resources, and Nintendo just doesn't want to divert any resources into Zelda outside of the occasional spin-off game. Mainly the Hyrule Warriors type of stuff. Like, it kills me because all I want is just to play Ocarina of Time on the Switch and Majora's Mask on the Switch. I just want them on the Switch as actual games I can buy, not no Nintendo Switch Online. They're so good. Give me Wind Waker on the Switch. Like, bro, if I was gay, I would, bro, like, I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say because somebody's gonna clip it and then post that. Dude, I just like, it's just easy money, but Nintendo, they don't want to do that. They want like money on their own terms, and they got it. They got $70 out of me for this. But that'd be dope. Neo, what do you think of a Lex Luthor standalone movie like Joker 2019? I feel like that could be interesting, trapped in my psyche, but at the same time, I kind of want Lex Luthor to be a part of the Superman world, because a Lex Luthor movie is just kind of like any movie about like corrupt billionaires and shit like that, or the Descent into Madness. I want Lex Luthor to be there in a world where Superman exists, and that's why I'm excited for James Gunn's Superman movie. I really hope Lex Luthor is a villain, but he's more of in the background, and we get to see the rise of this character rather than, okay, Lex Luthor is the bad guy, or the Lex Luthor is this weird quirky guy. Like, I want to see it, and then maybe make him a villain in like Justice League 3, or not Justice League 3, but Superman 3, or maybe a Justice League movie. I think that'd be dope. But yeah, you can do a lot with Lex Luthor as opposed to just making him a straight up villain. Just have him control the world a la Kingpin style. That'd be sick. If I was gay, this man put out the pride flag. Hey, yo. Yeah, they have the Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask remakes on the 3DS. They could bring those to the Switch if they want to, but they just don't. I mean, to be fair, it would take a lot more work to get those games up and running on the Switch. Because like I said, those games were designed with the 3DS in mind. So, you know, some workarounds and shit. It can be done. Don't get it twisted. It can be done, but they just don't want to do it. This man Neo was a menace in the stream tonight. No, I am not. I'm very nice. What are your thoughts on the Joker sequel? I'm excited for it. I like the first Joker. I liked it well enough. And I like how this one is apparently going to be a musical. Yeah, it's something different, man. Every now and then you want some different shit. Is the trailer packing schmeat? Hey, yo, what? Who are your go-to fitness content creators that you watch, particularly when it comes to healthy recipes? Hope you're doing good, Neo. I'm doing good, Robert Slade. Hopefully you are too. So I don't really, as weird as it sounds, like I watch a lot of fitness content creators, but I don't really watching them like cook stuff, I guess, if that makes sense. I don't really have a lot when it comes to like healthy recipes. I mean, like there's a lot of people out there. You can go on TikTok and you can find like fitness recipes and stuff. Most of the people that I watch when it comes to fitness nowadays are just like really informational videos. So like it's like informative videos and then also just people talking about random shit in the industry. Cool. Now that you got the Pokemon Edition Switch, when are you copping Scarlet and Violet? Never. I'm not a big Pokemon fan, and I listen, more power to the people. Listen, y'all love Pokemon, I like it for you, right? Notice I didn't say my usual, if you like it, I love it. I said, if you love it, I like that. But I in good conscience, I would sooner spend $80 on Zelda than I would ever spend money on a modern day Pokemon game. Like, I wanted to buy the Gen 4 remakes. I was this close to buying, what is that thing? This Brilliant Diamond and Magnificent Pearl. What is it called? Shining Pearl? Brilliant Diamond? I don't know. I was this close that I saw it for like $30. And I was like, wow, Pokemon games never go down in price like that. But then it was like, oh, wasn't that great of a game. Okay. You know, the remake wasn't that great. It just feels weird. It's like, because you know, those games could have been $30 on release, but it's just not. So I'm just, Pokemon to me is going to be that shit that I played as a kid. That's it. Because it's just not, it's not where I need it to be to spend money and good conscience. I don't need the nostalgia rush that bad with Pokemon that I need to put aside all my morals and play these games that, unfortunately, calling them PS2 looking games is an insult to the PS2 because the PS2 put out way better stuff. We the Digimon gang over here. I can't wait for the next Cyber Sleuth whenever that game comes out. If it comes out. Magnificent Pearl, Neo really far gone. Hey, I don't know the names of these Pokemon games. Like, we running out of shit now. What did we do? We did like X and Y. We did Black and White. We did Sword and Shield. Scarlet and Violet. Like, what else? What's next? Like, I don't know. Legends Arceus is better, I'll tell you. I've heard really good things about it, Corey. But again, the same thing. I just look at that game and I was like, well, this is still ugly, bro. Like, it's just, like, why does it look like this? New Pokemon wishes it looked as good as Dragon Quest VIII. That's my point, DimWitMonkey. That is my point. It doesn't look and run where it's supposed to, yet they're charging full price. At least with Zelda, they have this huge, expansive world full of wonder. And with Pokemon, it's like, you wonder how the fuck this got out of testing. $1.99 from Kevin Samuels. Most annoying Zelda dungeon. You know, here's the thing. So as a kid, I was really annoyed at anything that, like, obviously, like, the water temple annoyed me a lot when I was younger, but I need to play through the Zelda games with an adult perspective to see if those things were really annoying at the time or I was just stupid when I was playing it. More often than not, it's probably the latter. Because there were a lot of moments where I would play some games where I was just like, how the fuck do you do this? And it's just a simple thing, and I was like, I am a damn idiot. So I'll have to go back and replay it. These are just all the water temples. Yeah, the water temples are definitely the most irritating. But I gotta say if it's like the worst, though. Hey, yeah, listen. Pokemon Black and White 2, that generation, that was when I started to phase out of Pokemon. So when I played that, I was like, all right, it's cool, but, you know, this is getting tired, bro. Then I went back and I replayed it. Like 6-7 years ago, and I was like, yo, this is fucking good, bro. This is fucking great. B-Rex Memes I like that name. B-Rex's Meme Corner, who's been a member of the past month of the Phantom Weirdos tier. Appreciate you, my brother. Neo, what's your favorite Uncharted game? Mine is 2. Well, this is gonna sound very redundant because I feel like for most people it's the same thing. Yeah, Uncharted 2. It's my favorite Uncharted game. I was one of the people that I got Uncharted 1 when I got a PS3 Slim because I wanted to see what the hype was for 2. So I bought 1, played through it, then I bought 2, and I was just absolutely floored. Uncharted 2 is just such a damn good game. It's one of the best, like, step ups for a sequel. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those, like, biggest glow ups that you get because one is still a solid game, but man, it definitely shows its age. It was very, very repetitive by comparison to like the future games in the series. And then you go to 2 and it's just like, it ups everything. It ups like the character development, ups the spectacle, it ups the locale. It's so good, man. Neo, it's a Switch. It's not a PS5. You can't expect the Pokemon games to look good. Well, yes, I can, Black Dragon, because Xenoblade 3 is also on the Switch. And that game does 100 times things more than the Pokemon titles. It's got like 6 characters all at once battling in combat. Huge ass enemies, tons of enemies on screen. So much shit happening, and it still runs and looks better than Pokemon games. Pokemon games chug, and Pokemon is a fucking turn-based RPG, and there's still frame drops with the animation. Like, I'm sorry, like, the Pokemon games are just not well developed at all. They aren't, and the only reason why they sell is because of nostalgia. Like everybody knows that's the only thing carrying Pokemon. It's not because these games are actually good. Like, ain't nobody ranking the past like 10 years of Pokemon games in top 5 discussions. Like, it's not happening. It is not happening at all. Every single time I hear somebody come out and say Pokemon, it's like, Oh, man, I just need to scratch that itch. Well, if you got that fucking itch, bro, put some lotion on it, man. I got eczema. I want to scratch my skin, but I just get fucking lotion prescribed by my doctor to fix that. You don't need Pokemon to scratch that itch. Sometimes what you need is go to the doctor. Get your eyes checked. And listen, like I said, if y'all love Pokemon, I like that for you. You know, it's just like, I'm just confused. I'm just so confused. That game is on the same system where you could run The Witcher 3. Like, I don't understand this. I don't understand this. Everybody got standards for everything else except Pokemon. Where's the money, Pokemon? Where's that money going? Acebreaker, I'll tell you where it's going. It's going to freaking hostess clubs. It's going towards the drugs. It's going towards everything else, bro. Except making a better game. Neo, you can't talk about Pokemon being outdated when you buy every outdated play style Digimon game that drops. The last Digimon game I bought was like, what, 2018? And I'll tell you what, those Digimon games didn't drop frames. Those Digimon games look better than Pokemon. Those Digimon games ran at good frame rates. You can't say that. Can't say that. $1.99 from Julian Phoenix. Pokemon Dark and Light will bring you back. Bro, if the feature of Pokemon Dark is the fact that like you can't even look at the game when you play it, so it hides and masks all the frame drops, I might buy that game. I might buy it. Redfall or any Pokemon game? Well, obviously any Pokemon game because I could pick the OGs. Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3, Gen 4, Gen 5. Fuck yeah. Redfall, I would. You know what Redfall is? Redfall is like, all right. Best way I could describe Redfall. Redfall is like that kind of game where you get a new job, you're happy about like the benefits and perks, and then they say, we got a game room. And you're like, you got a game room. So you're thinking to yourself, oh, they probably have like billiards or they got darts or something. You're like, no. We have a game console and we got games for it. And I was like, word? You pull up there and the only game that they got is Redfall. And then you're thinking to yourself, well, it is a game. And if I press buttons, things will happen on the screen. But is that the game that we want for ourselves? Is that the game that we want for ourselves? And honestly, I don't think that's the game that we want for ourselves. I want us to be better. Because life is good. But it can be better. Redfall is kind of like if you were on the side of the road and your car was busted. And it's going to take like AAA or roadside service or whatever. It's going to take them like, I don't know, for whatever reason, like 3-4 days to get to you. And there's a rotting dead carcass of some animal. And they haven't like been dead that long. I mean, they're starting to smell. But if you're hungry, you're going to eat. That's Redfall. That's Redfall. The last Pokemon game I played was Pokemon Y. So that was 2013. The last great Pokemon game I played was Pokemon White 2. Redfall's like kind of like that game where, you know, you put it on mute, you talk with your boys, and like you want to press buttons. You want to test out your arthritis to see if you could still do things. Redfall is that kind of game. We might have a game for you. Didn't Xenoblade 2 run at like 560p at 20 frames? Oh yeah, Xenoblade 2's performance was terrible. But you know what? It was still better than Pokemon. It was still better than Pokemon. It had an open world, better story, better characters, and it ran better than Pokemon. Let's see. We have a $4.99 super chat coming in from Blue Senshi. I stopped buying physical game copies since 2017. Don't really see the point in physical copies anymore. Thanks for always being honest. Oh, I appreciate that, Blue Senshi. And I'm surprised you went an entire stream without making fun of my forehead. And just by saying that, a super chat from him is coming in saying, oh yeah, have a good night, Fivehead. So here's the thing. Like, I totally understand the convenience of digital. I love digital, but there's just some things that I think I'll only buy physical. Like, for most games that I don't really care about, I'll probably buy them digital. And I know that sounds very weird because I don't really care too much about seeing it on my shelf. Nowadays, my physical collection is really only games that I love. So like obviously the Personas and shit, I'll buy physical. But if it's something small like, I don't know, Far Cry 6, who the fuck needs to own Far Cry 6 physically? Like, you just look at the number on that, you're like, Christ, another one of these? I'm just picking on Ubisoft too much tonight. Like Switch games, for the most part, Switch games are all on the cartridge. So if you care about that sort of thing, it's great having on a cartridge. For most games on PlayStation, Xbox these days, the discs are just unlock keys. Most of the game ain't even on it. So buying a physical copy, like I said, unless it's like a special edition or you're getting a steel book or something like that, it doesn't make much sense owning it physically, because then you have to install the game, you have to keep the game in your system as an unlock key, and it's just like, why? So yeah, unless it's like really and beautiful on a disc, and not every movie is going to be uncompressed, because there's still some discs that are going to be compressed, but still, I like having the convenience of not having to download all that shit and keep it somewhere. I like just going to my shelf, picking it up, and just putting it in my thing, and it fucking works. Fucking works. Wait, what happened? Y'all said the stream died? Hold on. Nah, the stream is live. What y'all talking about? Hold on. Did the stream die? Wait. Did the stream die? Hold on. Did the stream die, or am I still live? Hold on, I'm looking over. It froze for a second? Oh. Game Freak was coming after your boy. Game Freak was coming after your boy. They was coming after me. They're like, you saying what? You said what? Oh no, we still good. We good. Okay, we good? Alright, okay. Alright. It was either Game Freak or Xbox coming after me. One of the two people. All right, we have a $4.99 super chat from Zack Rodriguez. Neo, I've been thinking of playing all the Xenoblade games. It seems like you are a big fan of them. Oh, I wonder. What gave you that impression? Are they worth checking out? I might start with one. Yes, I love the Xenoblade games so fucking much. Honestly, after I beat Xenoblade Chronicles 3, I think it cemented that game as my favorite RPG series of the modern era. Like, I still love Persona, and Persona's cool and everything, but Persona's like a really big, long-running franchise based off of another long-running franchise. But Xenoblade, it started in 2010, and it's just like every single time they've put out a new release, and they don't come out all the time, you know? Xenoblade 1 was 2010, Xenoblade 2 was 2017, Xenoblade 3 was 2022, and we just got the DLC, and of course you have Torna in between, and there was Xenoblade Chronicles X, which is like 2015. They're just fucking consistent, and they slap, and they're bangers, and it's awesome stuff, dude. It's awesome. I love it. I love it so much. And eventually, when I get around to playing Legend of Heroes in its full, I might like that too. We'll see, Bond. But yes, I do recommend them. They are all available on the Nintendo Switch. Xenoblade Chronicles 1 in particular got a really nice remake. I will say this, though. Xenoblade Chronicles 3, in my opinion, is the best in the series from... It's similar to Persona 5, where Persona 5 might not be everyone's favorite Persona, but it's just the best all around in terms of like how the narrative unfolds, the quality of life, controls, all those things. Xenoblade 1, the remake, definitely has some quality of life improvements compared to like the Wii version and the 3DS version. But the way 3 controls is just so fucking good, man. And the story of 3 is fantastic. I mean, they're all great stories, all of them, but just, oh, I love 3 so much. So much, man. He's streaming from his Switch. Oh, no. No, never that. Phil heard you talking that shit about the game of the generation. Listen, guys. Redfall is one of the games of all time. All right? Like, regardless of how you feel about it, Redfall is a game that released in this calendar year. Like, you could have your own personal feelings about what you feel about the game, but don't ever get it twisted. Redfall is a game that you can play with a controller. Like, I don't think y'all understand the significance of that. Like, damn, son. Redfall ain't even like that bad of a game to make all these memes. But you know what it is? It is that bad of a game. It is that bad of a game when you charge $70 for it, and this is supposed to be the one. How you all got the energy to say, let's cancel on PS5, but you don't got the energy to be like, wait a minute. We should delay this again. What is up with this game? Yeah. Yoda with the shades. Yo, so what's Yoda wearing right now, you guys? I remember I asked this before on one of the streams, but like, what exactly is Yoda wearing? Where is this from? It's going to be probably two answers are going to come up immediately. But let's see who gets it first. What exactly is Yoda wearing? Where are these from, guys? Where are these from? Whoa, come on. Grogu. Grogu, will you put your goggles on? Nah, I'll just leave it there for the time being. $5 from Robert Slade. Why are you talking about Xeno'Gay Chronicles when you should get Legendary? You see, that is not inaccurate, because that is exactly how Bond speaks. He's like, it's not Legendary. Bond, listen, this is how you know Bond been hanging around. And listen, I love my white people. You know this, so don't take disrespect about this. But this is how you know Bond be hanging around with the white people too much. He be calling Kingdom Hearts Kingdom Farts. That's exactly how you know this dude Bond ain't hung out with a black person since YouTube was 480p, man. Like, this is crazy. This is crazy. This man called Grogu Yoda. Baby Yoda, Grogu, I love it. I call him either or. Eggman goggles, Doc Ock glasses, nasty sunglasses. Wow, nobody has got it yet. Redfall definitely ranks with the other games I've played. Bet he calls Xemnas man sex. Corey Gryffindor, do not give him ammo. Do not give him ammo for that, my brother. Didn't Bond call white people colonizers? Yeah, he's doing that now for brownie points, Black Dragon. But listen, we know what he all about. I listen. I've only seen maybe like I've known Bond a very long time, but I've seen maybe like him take photos with like 3 black people, and one of them might have been mixed. I don't know. Futaba goggles. Hey, Juliun Harris, what's up, bro? Steampunk. Damn, no one's got this? Come on now. No one has got these goggles? Like, where they're from? Oh, man. I thought it was going to be some Guardians of the Galaxy type shit. I do want Star-Lord's helmet, though, Bobby. I do want that. Oh, we still on? Yo, we about to wrap it up in a bit. Unlike Acebreaker, who don't wrap it up at all. Yeah, hit that like button if y'all are enjoying the stream. Helps out the channel tremendously. Shulk, okay. Been a fan of yours since you made that video about Chronicle in your dad's car and that video defending the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movie when the trailer came out. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Banerjee. Donnie Banerjee, thank you so much for that, man. That's going back like 10, 11, 12 years, man. I think 12 years for the Andrew Garfield video. And then 11 years for the Chronicle video. Holy shit, motherfucker. That's awesome. Thank you for the support, man. Ayo, neither did I. That's how you got a nephew. Yeah, y'all wild. Give us a hint, bro. Okay, finally. All right, somebody got it. Somebody got it. It was Don Otaku. So, unfortunately, the worst person in the stream is right. It's Don Otaku. Well, to be fair, both you and Flame compete for that title. But yes, these goggles are from Psychonauts. These are the goggles your homeboy wears. Y'all don't know? How many of y'all played Psychonauts 2? This is probably not a good sign at all. If nobody here got that these goggles are from Psychonauts, I would have taken Jet Set Radio. But come on, Psychonauts. I don't think that's good for the branding of Xbox. If everybody in this stream, it took like 5 minutes and only Don Otaku, the Nintendo fanboy, was able to pinpoint that. Damn. Thanks for just going with my nickname. Well, if you can tell me how to pronounce your first name, I'll use your first name, bro. I just don't want to butcher it. Satyendra? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. That might be right. It might be wrong. Satyendra? I don't know. Watch it be something that's like, it does not look how it sounds. This man said, I bought Psychonauts and I still haven't played it. Jesus. And it's on Game Pass. The branding of Xbox. Yeah, man. That new Xbox mascot, Raz. Those goggles look nothing like Beats from Jet Set Radio. But, you know, people have said they thought it was from Jet Set Radio, so that's why I humor them, you know? I can never spell Psychonauts. Satendra. So the Y is silent. Satendra. Satendra. There we go. Okay. Satendra. There we go. I like that. Hey, Neo, do you remember the days of watching Adult Swim anime where we had Inuyasha, Cowboy Bebop, Trigun, Yu Hakusho? Yeah, man. It's a good time to be alive, bro. I remember, like, because, you know, as a kid, well, I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I had a bedtime. At 10 o'clock, the TVs had to be off. But, you know, everyone went to sleep. You would just turn on the TV. You put the volume to, like, 5 or 6. And you just be watching some Adult Swim anime, man. And then when you see that light go off in the hallway, just turn the TV off. You go back under the covers. You asleep. And then if you had one of the moms that didn't care, she would just open the door and she'd be like, all right, cool. But then if you had a mom like mine, if she was mad at you, she would go ahead and she would feel the TV to feel if the TV had some heat. And then she'd be like, I know you're awake. And I was like, I just want to live. But yeah, man, that brings me back. I watched Adult Swim pretty religiously until I think around 2008, 9. Basically, when I got into the internet, that's kind of like when I stopped watching Adult Swim. Because then I was like, well, they're not putting a lot of anime on there. Same thing for Toonami. Toonami had left at that point. But I just realized, like, oh my god, everything's on the internet, so I could just watch it when I want. Neo, can Starfield, Final Fantasy 16, Diablo 4 compete with Zelda for Game of the Year? What about Resident Evil 4 and Metroid Prime? Do remakes count? So I think at the end of the year, if all these games hit, I think what it's going to come down to is Starfield, Final Fantasy 16, Diablo, and if we're talking like the Jeff Keighley Game Awards, it could be more than that, but definitely I think Starfield, Final Fantasy 16, Diablo 4, and Zelda are going to be in the conversation. That's not to say that things like Spider-Man can't be included in there. Spider-Man is amazing, and it knocks people off. If it knocks the socks off of them, sure. But there's just some juggernaut titles that you know are going to be included by default. But that's only if the games hit. Like, if Diablo 4 comes out and it's ass, you know, people ain't going to be talking about it like that. Same thing with Starfield. But honestly, I would not be surprised if we see Resident Evil 4 Remake nominated for Game of the Year. I could see that happening. Do you guys think remakes should count in the discussion for Game of the Year? I don't necessarily see a problem with it if it's a from the ground up remake of a really old game. Yeah, included in the convo. Remasters, not so much. But if we're talking remakes, yeah, why shouldn't they be included? Something like Resident Evil 4? One of the best games of the year, and it's not just a remaster, so yeah, include that in there. Now, if it's something like, I don't know, a PS2 port to like PS4, yeah, probably not. Remakes should have their own category, but nah, no Game of the Year. But what if the remake is so fun? What if it's a remake of like a Super Nintendo game and it looks completely different from it? What if this is like a Chrono Trigger remake done in the style of, you know, Final Fantasy 16? Are they not two completely different games though? You know? Like, where do we draw the line? Oh, take care, Bella. I would tell you good luck on your test, but you're going to ace that. You're going to ace that. Have a good one. I'll see you. Remakes shouldn't get nominated for anything except technical achievements. No story, no gameplay, no Game of the Year for sure. Let's get new ideas and let them shine. All right, Don Otaku, what if they remade Breath of the Wild 20 years from now and it gives you that same effect of when you play Breath of the Wild the first time? Don Otaku's will be like, yo, listen, man, Nintendo games, they build different. What can I say? You got me. Like Final Fantasy VII Remake. Completely different in every way, shape, and form. If it's a remaster, no. But if it's a full remake, I feel like it's like Resident Evil 2 Remake. I could see that being included in the Game of the Year discussion because Resident Evil 2 Remake was fucking amazing and so different than the original PlayStation 1 game. I hope we're not close to the end of the stream. I just hopped on. Well, actually, we were supposed to wrap it up at 9:30, but I'll go for another 10 minutes. I'll go for 10 minutes. No, Jessica, I did not see the teaser for the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. I'm gonna watch it after the stream though. Yeah, they did include the Resident Evil 2 remake in the Game Awards that year. But I didn't really see a lot of people have an issue with it being included. You know? Is it just because Resident Evil 4 is more modern by comparison to 2? This man said make it 10 sharp. Yeah, we gonna wrap it up in 10 minutes, you know? Because my voice is starting to go, man. And we got some Zelda to play. I'll go for another 10 minutes. Yo, Neo got the stamina. Hey, I do got the stamina. I've been told that. And I don't need to eat anything just to get that going. Yes, sir. My girlfriend's probably in the chat like, oh my God, is he saying that? It's a fact, though. And now I have somebody that can back it up. I see, I would have said something very crass, but I'm not going to. I'll leave that for Acebreaker. You're like, yeah, you know. You could remake Chrono Trigger and make it a Souls game, and I would still say no because the story will carry it. Yo, Chrono Trigger is still one of the greatest games of all time. Yeah, Michael Brent. Just growing up in those days, watching everything on TV. Bro, I used to record anime, man. We had a VHS player downstairs. I would record anime. I would watch. Dude, I recorded Full Metal Alchemist. I recorded Naruto. I had like the first 100 episodes of Naruto recorded on VHS. What else? Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Some OG Yu-Gi-Oh! Man, because back in the day, you know, when you were a kid, and you only got gifts like on your birthday or Christmas or whatever, you can't be going out there and buying all this anime stuff. And also because it wasn't as like basically watching on TV was the new shit, and it took months, sometimes years, for it to come out on DVD. That's how it was back in the day. So if you had it on VHS, like you were the king of shit. And they weren't really doing a lot of reruns outside of the Adult Swim and the Toonami time block. It's not like Ed and Eddie or all those other shows where they would air at random times throughout the day. The only time you could ever watch Dragon Ball was when it was on Toonami. And if they were just sticking to this schedule, you just wouldn't see a random episode on there. Yeah, Chrono Trigger is so good. Don't forget the munchies tonight. Yo, Dax, man. I've been cooling off a bit because, you know, ever since your boy Neo has been partaking in the devil's lettuce more frequently, you got to be careful when those munchies hit, because when those munchies hit, you can make some really bad decisions. And I'm trying not to fuck up my diet too much as we get closer to the summer. You know, in the winter, I'm a little more lax, but it's starting to get nice outside. We wearing less layers. I want to make sure everything is like pristine. I don't want to be bloated too much from just eating a whole bunch of shit. So one thing I do now is, like, when I get really fucking high, I just have all my meals ready for me, like my healthy meals and shit like that. And I just like binge on all that food instead of going for like the potato chips or the ice cream. And don't get it twisted, I've done those. Like, guys, I say this, I tell you all this in confidence, live on air. Man, like last Monday, bro, I got stupid smacked, guys. I got so smacked. I killed 3 bottles of Pringles, right? 3 cans of Pringles. 3 of them, not the tiny ones, the big ones. Killed 3 of those. I killed a whole bag of Pepperidge Farm white macadamia nut cookies. I killed a whole bag of Pepperidge Farm mint chocolate chip, like those, the regular cookies they have. It's not pretty, bro. It's not pretty. It wasn't. So I'm just trying to avoid those kind of nights, because then I'm just like, what the fuck? I remember I woke up, I had like 3 empty cans of Pringles next to me. I was like, can't keep doing this, bro. Can't keep doing this. This man said, Jesus fucking Christ. Man said, feasting. The 2 different reactions. Like, I love it. I love y'all. Man. No, the thing is though, like, I work out a lot, so when those type of days happen, it doesn't hit me as bad, but still, it's like, fuck, man. I mean, it happens. It happens, y'all. I remember one night, I got home from work. I had my regular dinner, which my dinner, you know, like for dinner that night, I had like 8 ounces of ground beef. I had some steamed potatoes. I had a whole avocado. You know, I had my healthy gym meal and everything. Shit was nice. I took an edible. About 2 hours later, I was hungry again. And then I ordered on Uber Eats. My local bar was doing a deal. It was like buy one, get one free on these chicken wraps. And I had like these 2 chicken wraps, big chicken wraps. And they both had fries. And I killed all that stuff too. So in the span of like, I think 4 hours, I just killed like 3 fucking big ass meals. And I woke up the next day and I was just like, oh man, back at this again, huh? So, yeah, you gotta be careful with that shit. Or at least work out like a maniac. $4.99 from Zack Rodriguez. Neo, what's up with figures costing $500? That's ridiculous. Like, who has that kind of money to spend it on stuff? I don't get it at all. Well, the reason why those figures are very expensive, bro, is because, well, first off, they're targeting different markets. So it's not just like the regular figures that you would see for like $30, $40, $50. At that point, you're starting to get into more statue-esque sort of things. And the detail that goes on with those figures is second to none, bro. Like, I was that type of person too, where I didn't understand it. But then you realize that that's just more for the collector's market and the people that have disposable income where they want to spend it on really good stuff. Like this Rengoku statue that I have from Demon Slayer, my sister bought it for me as a gift. The statue retails for like $200 something. I mean, you can get it a little cheaper than that, like $150. But you look at this, it's a big statue or a big figure, whatever you want to call it. It's a figure because you can replace like the head. Statues is just more like one giant piece. But you look at the quality on that shit and it's dope as fuck. So I would say if you're definitely in the market for those sort of things, then yeah, it's going to cost some money. But the benefit of this hobby is that you have different price points for all of these things. So if you don't want to spend $500, and mind you, $500 is still cheap for a figure. I've seen things go for like $2,000, $3,000. It's crazy. But you look at the detail on it, it's insane. Those things cost a lot of money. The other stuff, the other stuff that people spend money on, the lewd statues and things like that, where the characters have like these crazy proportions. I'm not the biggest fan of that in terms of how people use their money, but you know what? Hey, listen, it's their money. They can do whatever the fuck they want. I just wouldn't step foot in that house because I'm pretty sure it's sticky everywhere. $1.99 from Blue Senshi. You built like Kirby for real. Yeah, bro. Yeah, honestly, yeah. I gotta slow down with it because I'm getting up there. I'm gonna be 30 this year, so yeah, I can't be having those binges anymore. $1.99 from Zack Rodriguez. Like a Persona 5 Makoto one was like 500 plus. Wow, but I'm sure the detail on that statue was incredible, bro. $2 Australian super chat coming from Valkyne24. 69 people watching. Nice. Definitely nice. Shout out to the 69 people watching. If y'all are enjoying the stream, hit that like button. Helps out the channel tremendously. I've seen statues go for the low price of free. Just need a ski mask or black Air Forces. I knew he was going to say that. But you know what? Hey, man. You do you, man. Just make sure you come to the next stream and donate. Oh, man. He said for the price of free. Making you a special 420 package. You talk about 420 for 2024? Hey, let's go, Angel. Just eat in moderation, but still keep yourself healthy. Exactly. I like that. I like that take on it. Shout out to the Black Air Force. Shout out to Black Air Force energy. So Satendra said, what are your thoughts on the Scream movies? You know, it's funny because like I wasn't the biggest fan of the Scream movies like that, at least compared to most people. I thought they were fun, like goofy meta type of movies, don't take themselves seriously. And I think in an era of like, well, just in a space of all these horror movies that do take themselves seriously, have some like Scream come out and it's a little more lighthearted and fun. It's cool. But I just don't think that Scream was like ever the most consistent franchise. I guess similar to a lot of horror movies. You're going to have some that are really good and some that are stinkers. But honest to God, I did like this new Scream movie outside of the ending. I'm not going to spoil it, but the ending of the movie, of the new Scream, the reveal, ugh, one of the worst aspects of it. But other than that, the tension of the film was great. A lot of stuff in the new Scream movie is great. Like I said, you got to go into it expecting like, okay, there's going to be a lot of cheese and it's going to be very meta at times. But I liked it. It was cool. I envy people who can smoke weed and still be productive. Weed makes me lazy. I have to take long breaks to get my life together before picking up the blunts again. So here's the thing about me, D'Angelo. I'm not, I don't like smoke weed to change something about my day-to-day life. So you know how like people resort to drinking if they have problems or they have an addiction? The first thing they do is reach for the bottle. Some people do that with weed. I'm not really that type of person. Like I smoke weed because it's fucking fun, dude. It's fun. I like how I feel when I'm on it. And in my case, it helps me eat more food if I'm trying to like bulk up for the gym. I will say though, I don't really do anything productive when I'm high. Usually when I'm high, it's just watching movies, talking to friends, chilling. I don't know how people like, my brother's the complete opposite of me. When he's fucking high, he's so productive. He's like doing coding. He's doing all this stuff. Me, myself, I'm just chilling, bro. I become a potato. And at first I thought maybe it's because I was having a lot of indica strain stuff. So let me do sativa. I do sativa. It's the same thing, bro. I just want to chill, have my little munchies, watch my movies, and be all right. I was talking about the most recent Scream set. So that would be Scream 6. I was not a big fan of 5, but I liked 6. $5 from Don Otaku. When are you going to play Fuda Fix Dick Dine and Dash? I gifted it to you at least a year ago and you still have 0 hours in it. Well, I feel like if I play that game, it's going to get banned. I'm going to get banned off stream if we play that game, bro. Like, listen, whatever games you and your wife let's play in the comfort of your own home on Pornhub, more power to you. But man, if we play that shit, we might get banned, bro. Could you just imagine that name? Fuda Fix Dick Dine and Dash. You're getting your Fuda Fix and you're getting some dick, and you're also dining and dashing. That's a lot, bro. That's a lot. That's a lot. But you know what? That's the life this man lives. But you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if Don Otaku was the very first person to make like something involving a dick on Tears of the Kingdom. I just know it. I have a feeling about that man. Well, that boy Don Otaku. Watch out for him, y'all. Oh, but I'm just looking at the clock, you guys. It is officially 10 o'clock on the dot. We ran a little over today. You guys got an extra half hour, but we have got to wrap it up for the night. Something Acebreaker does not do, and something Rhino doesn't have to do anymore. Oh, man. Hold on. Let's got to get a little stretch action going. Acebreaker, yeah, stretch action. That's what I'm all about. It's like everything I say, you can make it into like a completely different statement with Acebreaker. But anyways, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed the stream. It's great, as usual, doing this every Tuesday night. Same time, same place. And I've noticed that when we pushed it back from 6:30 to 7:30, we definitely had a lot more viewers coming in, and the viewer retention was higher. So it looks like Ask Neo might permanently, unless something changes in my life, but it's looking like it might permanently be 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard start time. Last minute $2 super chat coming in from Don Otaku. Hentai games should be nominated for Game of the Year. Well, listen, you know, sure. There you go. You know what? Do that. It just took a lot for me to string together words to try to figure out how to respond to that. Sure. If you like it, you like it. Anyways, thank y'all so much to all the new members who have joined the channel. Thank y'all so much to all the moderators. Thank y'all so much for all the super chats. But before we go, we got to have ourselves a hydration check, ladies and gentlemen. As y'all know, and you should know this by now, but if you don't, because we have some first-time viewers, first-time people for Ask Neo, hydration check is our routine. We do it at the end of every single one of Ask Neos. It's our tradition where we get some water and we fucking chug that shit, because water is very important for you and your well-being and your body and everything. It makes the world go round. Water. It's lovely. Unless you're playing the water temple, that is. So grab your favorite H2O beverage of choice, and we're going to chug that shit on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Hydration. Oh, man. Dude. After talking for almost 3 hours straight without drinking water consistently enough, oh, it feels so good. But yeah, y'all, enjoy the rest of your mornings, your evenings, your afternoons, whatever time zone you may be in. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button on your way out, or if you're listening on the playback. Thank you guys so much for all the support as usual. Give your boy a follow on Twitter. Check out the most recent episode of Podcast Unlocked. Your boy was a guest on there. We talked about a lot of good stuff. And yeah, you guys, enjoy Zelda. Put in a lot of hours. I already know. I'm just going to get off this stream now. I'm going to make myself some food, and I'm diving back into Zelda, y'all. Y'all are some alcoholics in the chat. Jesus Christ. But you know what? You know what? I wouldn't have it any other way. For me to you for now, my name is NGS signing out. And like always, I will catch you guys later. Peace out, y'all. Have a good one. But before I go, never forget that no matter how bad you are doing in life, remember somebody looked at Redfall and said, yep, that's the one.